Chapter 151. At this time, Kyosuke came back to his senses. He turned around and saw that Namikaze Minato had arrived near him at some point. Oh, so it's little son, Minato-sensei. 35. Seeing the person who came, Kyosuke changed his tune. The little son? Namikaze Minato was a little stunned when he heard Kyosuke say this at first. The name little son. Isn't it only Kushina who calls himself that? How did Kyosuke-kun know? However, Namikaze Minato soon stopped worrying about it and thought it was Kyosuke talking nonsense. Kyosuke-kun, congratulations. It looks like you're recovering well. Namikaze Minato's face always showed a warm smile like a little son. Namikaze Minato's smile, sincere and kind, makes people feel good. Thanks, Minato-sensei. Kyosuke laughed. Although Namikaze Minato belongs to the third Hokage faction, it is difficult for Kyosuke to hate him. After all, Namikaze Minato is not hypocritical. He has a really good character. Kyosuke wouldn't mind having such a friend if he could. As for the future, in the struggle between the Hokage faction and the Uchiha clan, will there be any conflict between the two? Kyosuke felt that he should not think about it too much for the time being. And when Namikaze Minato heard Kyosuke's words, he couldn't help shaking his head and said seriously, Kyosuke-kun, I should be the one to thank you. Without Kyosuke-kun, the battle with Tsunagakure would not have been so easy for the village to win. Having said that, Namikaze Minato looked at Kyosuke with admiration in his eyes. Only those who have personally participated in this war can truly appreciate that Kyosuke led the Konoha shinobi to turn the tide of the war in this war, and made a huge contribution. In particular, Kyosuke defeated One-Tail Morizuru, which directly established Konoha's victory. Thinking of this, Namikaze Minato's mood fluctuated slightly. At Kyosuke's age, who would have thought that he would be able to defeat One-Tail Shikaku? Namikaze Minato knows that, for Kyosuke, age cannot be used to judge him. Miss Minato, are you looking for me? Kyosuke also didn't want to thank Namikaze Minato to each other, so he was a little tired. This time Namikaze Minato came, and there must be something else, CHFB, to discuss with him. Really? When Kyosuke said this, Namikaze Minato had a hesitant look on his face, and he was a little confused, thinking about whether to tell Kyosuke so early. However, he thought of the urging from the village and the tense battle situation on the border of Cloud Shinobi. In the end, Namikaze Minato said it anyway. The village is already urging us to go to support as soon as possible. Having said that, Namikaze Minato looked at Kyosuke apologetically and continued. And, according to the news from the Cloud Shinobi border, the situation at Teacher Jiraiya is very urgent. So, Kyosuke-kun, we don't have much time left. In 2 days, we will lead the troops to support. After saying this, Namikaze Minato looked a little ashamed. Kyosuke-kun, I'm really sorry. After all, Kyosuke's injuries were all for the sake of the village. Now, before Kyosuke can recover from his injuries, the village is busy urging them to rush to support the Cloud Shinobi battlefield. Although the situation in the Cloud Shinobi battlefield is indeed very urgent, this appointment is a bit chilling. At the same time, Namikaze Minato also felt embarrassed, puzzled, and dissatisfied with the urging from the village. Minato was in a dilemma because the situation on the other side of the border at Cloud Shinobi was bad, where his teacher, Jiraiya, was under a lot of pressure. Namikaze Minato wanted to go to support his teacher as soon as possible, but Kyosuke's injury was still not healed, so he could only wait like this. Also, Namikaze Minato was a little puzzled by the decision made by the village, why he had to let Kyosuke go with him to support the Cloud Shinobi battlefield. Namikaze Minato, he will go to support first, and Kyosuke, can't we go after his injury is healed? And dissatisfied, Namikaze Minato is naturally dissatisfied with the attitude of Kyosuke in the village, which is chilling. However, since the high-level officials in the village have already said so, Namikaze Minato, as a subordinate, is not easy to refute, nor can he continue to delay like this. Kyosuke was not surprised by these small actions of the senior executives of Konoha. Kyosuke was very disdainful of those undead old vegetarians and looked down on them very much. After the ninja war, when Kyosuke returns to the village, he will have time to play with them. At that time, let's see who can play to the end. Minato-sensei, you're not wrong. So what's your apology? Seeing Namikaze Minato felt guilty, Kyosuke was speechless. Besides, didn't the village say it all? The battle situation at the Cloud Shinobi border is anxious. We should go to support as soon as possible. Speaking of which, Kyosuke sighed guiltily. Alas, speaking of which, it's still my fault. It's me who dragged everyone down. 99. Hearing Kyosuke say this, Namikaze Minato felt even more guilty. Kaiosuk's injury hasn't completely healed yet, so Namake's Minato, who is kind-hearted and considerate of others, just urges him to support the Cloud Shinobi battlefield, sees it, and feels very sorry. However, Kaiosuk took the initiative to say, "Miss Minato, you don't have to worry. My body is recovering well now. We will leave in 2 days. After all, the situation at Jiraiya-sama is urgent, and we should support the past as soon as possible." The reason why Kaiosuk said this is not how high his ideological awareness is or how much dedication he has, but Kaiosuk's body's ability to recover quickly, coupled with systematic blessings. Therefore, after 2 days of departure, his injuries should also recover. It wasn't much of a problem then. Besides, if he doesn't go to the battlefield, where will he go to earn quest points? Namake's Minato was very moved by Kaiosuk's general knowledge and consideration of the village. The shame in his heart deepened a little. At the same time, it made Namake's Minato admire Kaiosuk even more. If Kaiosuk were to know how Namake's Minato viewed him, he would definitely live in Bungbu. Sure enough, life is like a play. It all depends on acting. Next, after Namake's Minato and Kaiosuk talked for a while, he said goodbye and left. Having already decided with Kaiosuk that he will go to support the Cloud Shinobi battlefield the day after tomorrow, Namake's Minato has to go back and arrange a lot of things. The matter here at Konoha Base Camp, he has to deal with it as soon as possible, so that he can lead the troops to leave. Chapter 152. After Namake's Minato left, Kaiosuk was in no mood to feel that he was born again. After thinking about it, he opened the system interface casually. Physiotherapy yyds system host. Uchiha Kyosuke abilities. 3 body technique, beginner. Konoha fluid technique, master. Paper arts, grandmaster. Iron body, grandmaster. Tempest kick, proficient. Water rock shattering fist, proficient. Armament haki, proficient. Shave, proficient. 8 inner gates, 5th gate. Gene lock tier 1. Wolf fong feng fengquan, proficient. Dance of the sky, beginner. Eternal buff. Soul of Taishu. Taishu's training income increases by 1000%. Mission points. 888 points. The current main quest. Famous 3 battles. Mission introduction. Host emerges in the 3 wars and becomes famous. Quest rewards. 10 quest points for every genin killed, 30 quest points for chunin, 100 quest points for jonin, and 500 quest points for Kage level. Award daily tasks. 5,000 positive punches, 5,000 deep squats, and 50 kilograms to run 20 kilometers. Mission reward. 5 mission points. After the battle with Sunagakure, Kaiosuk discovered that in terms of ability, the proficiency of Konoha fluid technique has improved and has reached the master level. This is also the one with the highest proficiency among Kaiosuk's many martial arts. Moreover, the proficiency of Langyufeng Fengquan has also reached the proficiency level. The proficiency of other physical arts has not changed. However, Kaiosuk reckoned that if he sharpened himself well, the proficiency of many physical arts could be further improved. The current system quest points are 888. I must wait until I get to the Cloud Shinobi battlefield and harvest a few more Cloud Shinobi to accumulate 1,000 quest points. Thinking of this, Kaiosuk was looking forward to it, looking forward to the next lottery. What good things can be drawn. However, during this period of cultivation, the daily tasks of the system were delayed, and dozens of task points were wasted. No matter how small a mosquito is, it is still meat. However, this is not possible. While Kaiosuk felt a little pity, he also had plans for the next step. Start now. Let's finish the daily tasks of the system today. 5 go on. After making the decision, Kaiosuk faced forward and his expression became firm. Run 20 kilometers with a 50 kilograms load. Walk? 2 days passed quickly. The border of the fire country, around the Konoha base camp. Early morning. Everything was silent, and the parallel lines of the distant sky were white with fish belly, carefully soaking the light blue sky. However, in a forest, the silence was broken. Fist 5,000 times done. 5,000 squats done. Running 20 kilometers with a 50 kilograms load, done. 39 in the forest, Kaiosuk's physical condition has recovered a lot, and he has completed the daily tasks of the system. And the familiar system's crisp prompt sound also sounded in Kaiosuk's mind. Ding! System prompt. The daily task is 5,000 positive punches, 5,000 deep squats, and 20 kilometers of cross-country with a 50 kilograms load. The task is completed. Get quest reward, 5 quest points. After completing the daily tasks of the system, Kaiosuk stopped. Now, with Kaiosuk's strength, completing the daily tasks of the system is very simple. It is no different from drinking water and breathing. Even Kaiosuk wondered whether the system would automatically update something, update the daily tasks, and make them more difficult. This, perhaps, the task points obtained will come a little more. Task completed, call it a day. Kaiosuk looked at the fish maw and white sky in the distance and let out a long breath. After returning to the base camp, we will also prepare to go to support the Cloud Shinobi border. Kaiosuk is rushing to get up in the morning so that he has time to finish the daily tasks of the system. However, just as Kaiosuk pulled his gaze away from the distance, a sudden change occurred. Whoosh! A crisp, piercing, sharp kunai-piercing sound came clearly in this silent forest. The direction of the attack was towards Kaiosuk. Kaiosuk, who noticed it, frowned. Could it be someone from Sunagakure? Although the war between Konoha and Sunagakure is over, some ninjas in Sunagakure stay here to deal with things and haven't returned to the village yet. Ask for flowers, Sand Shinobi sneak attack, very likely. After all, that's Black Fong, Uchiha Kaiosuk. Kaiosuk's name, after this war, has now become completely famous in the entire Sand Shinobi circle. Most of Sand Shinobi's attitude towards Kaiosuk is both fear and hatred. Fear the terrifying power of Kaiosuk, hate the bloody brutality of Kaiosuk's methods, and hunted down their many comrades. So, if it was really Sand Shinobi's sneak attack, that's understandable. However, Kaiosuk thinks more and goes further. If Sand Shinobi wanted to attack and kill himself, wouldn't they be afraid of the failure of the attack and the consequences of this incident? Now that Sunagakure is a defeated country, if he dares to cause trouble, he is really digging a hole and burying it himself, seeking death. Point 0. This sneak attack, Kaiosuk's heart has already flashed a lot of conjectures. Shave. Soon, Kaiosuk easily dodged the sneak attack after a flash. The next moment, his figure fell on Kazuki. After that, Kaiosuk narrowed his eyes and looked in the direction where Kunai shot out just now. He wants to see what it is, dare to die so boldly. Soon, in that direction in the forest, a figure slowly walked out from the trunk. When Kaiosuk saw the man's face, he couldn't help being taken aback. Immediately afterwards, a strange look appeared on Kaiosuk's face. He knew the person who appeared in front of him. Come, it is a ninja of Sunagakure. She wears the Sunagakure ninja forehead protector in front of her forehead. She is tall and perfect, with a delicate face, and her hair is coiled on top of her head in the shape of a ball, with a hairpin on it. The drooping yellow hair on both sides of her eyes is very conspicuous, and she looks very temperamental at a glance. Forehead. Also, her front is a little scary. However, it is not as scary as Tsunade's. Yitsong, why did she come here? Seeing that it was Yitsong who attacked him, the Sunagakure ninja who had entangled with him, the expression on Kaiosuk's face changed. Thinking of the things he had done to her before, Kaiosuk couldn't help but have a headache. No, this woman came here to seek revenge for him. She... Chapter 153. Although some don't want to admit it. However, Kaiosuk knows how bad the things he did to Yitsong before. If it wasn't for him to settle accounts now, Kaiosuk wouldn't feel normal. Sure enough, after Yitsong's figure came out, her beautiful eyes were filled with hatred and stared at Kaiosuk fiercely. With those sharp eyes, I can't wait to kill Kaiosuk. That horrible look. Also, this woman is indeed a little scary. Yitsong, what do you mean? You want to kill me? At this moment, Kaiosuk smiled bitterly in his heart and looked at the somewhat scary woman not far away. Yitsong stared at Kaiosuk, gnashing his teeth, as if he was going to eat him alive. What do I mean? Don't you know? Uchiha Kyosuke. Seeing 507 in front of Yitsong, it was like eating a powder keg. Trying to fight with himself, Kyosuke felt helpless. At the same time, he also felt a little unlucky. I was completing the daily tasks of the system in this forest, so how could I have bumped into this woman so coincidentally? Obviously, when he was doing the daily tasks of the system yesterday, he didn't meet anyone. Kyosuke, he only ran 20 kilometers with a load of 50 kilograms today, and the ground is a bit far, so he can meet her? This? Are you lucky? Or too bad? Kyosuke didn't know what to say for a while. However, Kyosuke knew that in the face of this situation, the best thing to do was to ignore it, walk away, and try to avoid this woman. Otherwise, he will definitely be in trouble. Thinking of this, Kyosuke jumped directly from the tree and turned to leave. Yes, I don't understand what you mean by that. 35 Kyosuke paused for a moment. This time you came to attack me, I just have something to do, so I won't bother with you. You go. Kyosuke also has something to do. He has to rush back to Konoha base camp, so he can't delay too much here. Otherwise, it will affect the itinerary to support the Cloud Shinobi border. After Kaiosuk finished speaking, he started to leave. However, this is just wishful thinking of Kaiosuk. He actually wanted to stay away from this woman, Itsong, to avoid unnecessary troubles. But how could Haikura just let Kaiosuk go away? Actually, it was a coincidence that she met Kaiosuk this time. After Sunagakure voluntarily surrendered and conceded defeat, the war ended. On Sunagakure's side, after Grandma Chio, Orochimaru, and Tsunade negotiated post-war compensation, she was disheartened and led the army back to Sunagakure. When Granny Chio left, she left Itsong and Luo Shahir, and let them both deal with the post-war affairs before going back. During this period of time, in addition to dealing with post-war-related matters, Itsong had one more thing that had been entangled in her mind, troubling and tormenting her. That thing is about Kaiosuk. Yakura will never forget what Uchiha Kyosuke did to her. During this time, the more Itsong thought about those things, the more he hated Kyosuke. These things interfere with her all the time, making her unwilling to rest. It was just such a coincidence that when Yakura Insomnia was out for a walk, to relax and relieve his mood, he happened to bump into Kyosuke. At that time, when Itsong realized that the figure in the forest was Kyosuke, she was really shocked and angry. In short, her mood is very complicated. Itsong knew that now that the war was over, even if she encountered Uchiha Kyosuke, she would not be able to trouble him easily. Otherwise, this is likely to provoke the conflict between Sunagakure and Konoha again. However, Itsong only hesitated for a while, and soon, she followed Kyosuke closely behind. For Uchiha Kyosuke, what he did to her, Itsong couldn't swallow the bad breath in his heart in the end. This is the scene where Itsong attacked Kyosuke just now. And now, Kyosuke said in an extremely arrogant manner, "Is there something he doesn't care too much about her?" This is clearly unmanned. He didn't even take Itsong into his eyes at all. "Stop. Uchiha Kyosuke. Did I let you go?" Behind Kyosuke, Itsong shouted angrily. However, Kyosuke decided to ignore it and continued to walk a few steps forward, preparing to leave. However, before Kyosuke could take a few steps, he suddenly sensed that there were several extremely dangerous attacks behind him, and they were attacking him quickly. Itsong's strength is very strong, surpassing elite Jonin. Plus, she also has a Scorch-style bloodline. For the attack from the back, at this time, Kyosuke did not dare to support him. If you accidentally capsize in the gutter, it will be a big game. Kyosuke, his whole body tense, turned around quickly. In front of him, two fiery red spherical objects were coming towards him. That was Itsong's ability to follow the boundaries of blood. Seeing this, Kyosuke's expression changed involuntarily. This woman is also very cruel, and if she disagrees with him, she will make more moves at him. However, Kyosuke and Itsong had already fought each other and were familiar with her attacking tactics. In the face of the Scorch-style fireball rushing in quickly, Kyosuke was not in a hurry. He took out two kunai with detonating charms and shot them directly at the two Scorch-style fireballs. Soon, kunai and Scorch-style fireballs collide. Boom, boom, fire up. In an instant, two amazing explosions sounded from the silent forest, startling countless birds. After the smoke slowly dissipated, the figures of Kyosuke and Itsong also reappeared not far from here. At this time, Kyosuke looked at Itsong in front of him with a rather unpleasant expression. He really doesn't want to pay attention to this woman now. However, people came to trouble him. "Itsong, have you thought about the consequences of doing something with me?" 39 Kyosuke frowned, looking at Itsong Dao, who was not far ahead, with 5.1 in his hand controlling several Scorch-style fireballs. "Also, did you come here this time on your behalf, Sunagakure, or on your own?" Since Itsong had already made a deadly move, Kyosuke simply picked it up and figured it out. This matter, whether it is Itsong's own intention or Sunagakure's intention. Once Kyosuke gets this out, it will definitely be the trigger for Sunagakure and Konoha village to fight again. You, Sunagakure, have already surrendered and conceded defeat, and you dare to sneak attack on our Konoha village people? What does it mean? Don't you take our Konoha village into consideration? Even if it wasn't enough to cause the two villages to go to war again. However, Sunagakure is bound to pay a corresponding price for this. Chapter 154. Kyosuke had already figured this out very clearly, and it really caught Itsong's attention. Sure enough, when Itsong heard Kyosuke's words, she hesitated. Just now, she still wanted to take advantage of the situation to attack again. But now, Itsong temporarily dismissed this thought. The other side. When Kyosuke saw Itsong not far in front of him, a bit of hesitation appeared on her valiant face, and then he knew something. This time Itsong attacked herself, It was her own intention at all, and she came to take revenge. Thinking of this, the corners of Kyosuke's mouth twitched. Kyosuke didn't know what to say either. After all, it was because of him. At this time, the eyes of Yakura looking at Kyosuke from the front were very complicated. There is anger, there is anger, there is hesitation. She hated Kyosuke deeply, but she was afraid of the consequences of her actions, which was not something she could bear. However, Yi-sang's erratic expression caught Kyosuke's eyes. At the same time, he also knew what to do next. Cough, cough. Kyosuke coughed a little, attracting the attention of the opposite Haikura, Yi-sang. I know that there may have been some misunderstandings between us before. 39 When Yi-sang heard this, the hesitant look on his face disappeared immediately, and he glared at Kyosuke with some anger. Obviously, she had bad memories. Kyosuke turned a blind eye and continued to organize the language. The situation at that time, I think you know, after all. It was forced by the situation. If it really offends you, then I hereby apologize to you. 39 I'm really sorry for causing you such a disturbance. At this time, Kyosuke's attitude was correct and serious. Hearing that Kyosuke actually apologized to her, Yi-sang was stunned for a moment. She really didn't expect that Kyosuke would actually apologize. Is this still the Black Fangs, the Uchiha Kyosuke that made Sand Shinobi's name go away? Kyosuke apologized to Yi-sang and kept looking directly into Yi-sang's eyes. Therefore, Yi-sang's reaction, everything was seen by Kyosuke. So, Kyosuke had a clue. It seems that this apology is somewhat effective. However, this alone is not enough. Kyosuke is a soldier before the ceremony. Just after Kyosuke looked Yi-sang's eyes squarely, he apologized very earnestly and sincerely. Just when Yi-sang was in a state of stupefaction for a while. Immediately afterwards, Kyosuke's expression changed, and he said very seriously, I'm sorry for offending you before, but 99, presumably you attacked me just now. It shouldn't be what you Sunagake meant. 35, I guess it's just that you acted out of personal grudges. 5 Kyosuke had just finished apologizing when the topic suddenly changed to this matter, making Yi-sang unable to react. Why did you mention this? However, Kyosuke ignored this and warned Yi-sang. Yi-sang, do you know what consequences your actions just now will bring to your village? 55 Or, do you still want to start a war between the two villages again? As soon as Kyosuke said these words, Yi-sang woke up instantly. She couldn't help but change her face. The consequences of the attack on Kyosuke, it was not that Yi-sang didn't think about it before attacking Kyosuke. However, Yi-sang, who was already full of hatred at that time, how could she still care so much? All she knows is that Uchiha Kyosuke has done something unforgivable to her. Then she will have to take revenge. As for the consequences, maybe it shouldn't be that serious. At that time, Yi-sang thought like this. In fact, this is also a common problem of people, knowing that the consequences of doing something are very serious. But I can't let go. I can't hold back. I just want to do it. Therefore, I will comfort myself in my heart, and subconsciously, I will find an excuse for myself to deceive and paralyze myself. Maybe, the outcome of things was not as serious as I thought. And Yi-sang, that's it. At this time, after Kyosuke directly stated the seriousness of this matter, Yi-sang only reacted and truly realized the seriousness of the problem. TTT. The fat is in the fire. Moreover, it is very likely that the village will be affected. Thinking of this, Yi-sang's beautiful face showed a look of regret and self-blame. Kyosuke naturally saw all of this. However, Kyosuke won't stop there. This woman, Yi-sang, must be beaten well. Yi-sang, although you're doing something to me, I can understand that, but tut-tut. Kyosuke continued. I have to admire your courage. In this battle, you Sunagake have already surrendered and admitted defeat. At this sensitive juncture, you dare to attack me. I have to say, you are really brave. Saying this, Kyosuke couldn't help but want to applaud. However, considering that this would irritate the woman, Kyosuke just stopped. As for Yi-sang, when she heard Kyosuke's words, she subconsciously wanted to get angry. However, she resisted. However, Kyosuke was not going to stop there. He had to say what he had to say. Otherwise, how can this woman deeply realize her mistake? This war, I think it must have cost you a lot of material and manpower, Sunagake. Kyosuke spoke slowly. And the compensation for our Konoha village after the war, you Sunagake must have to pay a heavy price. 507 When Kyosuke mentioned this, Yi-sang's little face turned pale. At this time, she bit her lip. her face full of humiliation and unwillingness. She participated in the post-war compensation negotiation with Konoha and knew very well what price the village would have to pay. It can be described in 2 words: extremely grievous. At this time, Yitsong looked somewhat pitiful. But for Yitsong, Kyosuke won't pity Xiangxiu. He continued to add fuel to the fire. Oh, by the way, I remember your Sunagakure situation now. It seems to be very good. The land of earth, the land of thunder, and the others. But they are very fond of you. The land of wind. Yitsong, what do you think? What? Just ended the war with our Konoha. Do you still want to start the war between Sand Shinobi and Konoha again without being too big of a deal? 99 Kyosuke's words completely hit Yitsong's sore spot, making Yitsong's face extremely pale. Kyosuke is right. Sunagakure is in a bad situation right now. Owagakure in the land of earth and Cloud Shinobi village in the land of thunder, after the disappearance of 3rd Kazekage, have been eyeing Sunagakure. Today, both Cloud Shinobi village and Owagakure have troops stationed on the borders of the land of winds, and they have some friction with Sand Shinobi. In fact, in this battle between Sunagakure and Konoha, the reason why Chiyo grandmother surrendered to Konoha so decisively and conceded defeat, she was somewhat worried that Owagakure and Cloud Shinobi village would take the opportunity to invade the land of wind. This aspect was considered. Chapter 155. If Sunagakure continues to stalemate with Konoha, then Cloud Shinobi village and Owagakure will definitely not miss this opportunity, and they will definitely take the opportunity to attack the land of winds. At that time, even in the battle between Sunagakure and Konoha, if Sunagakure won, the consequences would be extremely severe. What's more, Sunagakure was still beaten by Konoha in the battle, and there was no chance of winning at all. Kyosuke has already made things clear, so it's up to Yitsong how to choose. Did you keep looking for trouble with Kyosuke regardless of the village? Or for the sake of the village, choose to forbear and give up revenge? However, Kyosuke knew that Yakura was a ninja who was extremely concerned about the village. Otherwise, the original book would not have become a victim of political affairs. Kyosuke didn't make a move when he saw Yakura standing there with a pale expression. This was what Kyosuke expected. Upon seeing this, Kyosuke knew that the matter was almost resolved. Trouble, not for now. It's time to go back. It would be bad to delay the trip to the Cloud Shinobi border. Kyosuke glanced at Yitsong, who was silent with his head bowed in front of him. Not knowing what he was thinking, his eyes had some meaning. As soon as he came, Kyosuke turned around and left, and Yitsong sighed. The words Kyosuke said just now were warning her not to mess around. Impulsivity is the devil. If she really messed things up to the point where she couldn't handle it, then the consequences would not be something she could bear. Although that's true, but she was still full of unwillingness and anger. Shame. The hateful person Uchiha Kyosuke is right in front of his eyes, but he can only hold back his grievances and hate, and he can't take revenge. No matter how resentful he was, Yitsong could only grit his silver teeth and watch Kyosuke just leave in his sight. However, after Kyosuke walked some distance, he stopped again and turned his back to Yitsong. Originally, Yitsong, who was staring at Kyosuke's disappearance, gritted her teeth, and when she saw this, she couldn't help but pause in her heart. Uchiha Kyosuke, what is this for? Thinking about it carefully, we can be considered acquaintances anyway, and we have some fate. 5 at this time, Kyosuke turned his back to Yitsong and said, well, before I leave, I will kindly remind you. Yitsong. Remind? When Yitsong heard this, he couldn't help but startled. There's nothing wrong with being loyal to the village itself, but it's stupid to be loyal, maybe. When you died, you still thought sadly that everything you did was for the village, and all your sacrifices for the village were worth it? Oh, in the end, you were deceived and betrayed by your companions, and the only one left in the dark was you, a poor person. Having said that, Kyosuke quickened his speed. He was going back in a hurry. 3rd Kazekage has disappeared a lot. The village can't be without shadows. Presumably your Sunagakure will soon be elected Kazekage. Yakura, if you want to change your destiny, then try your best to become the 4th Kazekage. Also, I'll give you one last piece of advice. The most terrifying enemy, the one who kills you, may be your trusted companion. After Kyosuke said this, he stopped talking. He had already reminded her what he should have reminded, and he had said enough. As for whether Yitsong listened to it or not, that was not something he could intervene. If in the future, Luo Sha was still foolishly deceived and became a victim of a great power, Kyosuke would have nothing to say. Soon, Kyosuke's figure disappeared into the dense forest. Yakura stared at the direction where Kyosuke disappeared and said nothing for a long time. At this moment, Yi-sang's eyes were full of complicated expressions. What do these words of Uchiha Kyosuke mean? If you want to change your destiny, do you have to become Kazekage? What are you kidding? Is Fengying so easy to be? Although Yi-sang has paid a lot for the village, her political achievements are also placed there. If Sunagakure really wants to choose Kazekage, she has the qualifications to participate. However, Yi-sang was not confident. She felt that she could not become Fengying. Also, Uchiha Kyosuke said, the most terrifying enemy, the one who kills himself, may be the trusted companion around him. In Yi-sang's view, this is simply ridiculous. As a ninja, if you don't trust your companions, who else can you trust? What Kyosuke said was nothing but gibberish to Yakura. Really can't. Forget it. There's no need to take that person's words seriously. Yi-sang looked at the direction where Kyosuke disappeared. Her beautiful eyes filled with determination. Although, I can't do anything to you right now. But, Uchiha Kyosuke, make up your mind. One day, I will definitely find you. I want to let you know, not everyone can let you bully and play. After speaking, Yi-sang took his eyes back and turned to leave. In the forest, calm was restored again. After Kyosuke returned to Konoha base camp, he briefly sorted it out. After finishing, having breakfast, we walked towards the meeting place agreed with Namake's Minato. To the gathering place. There are already quite a few Konoha shinobi here, ready to go. When Orochimaru left to support the rock shinobi border, he took most of the Konoha shinobi here. However, there were still some Konoha shinobi people who stayed behind and planned to follow Namake's Minato to support the cloud shinobi border. Kyosuke came here, and by coincidence, happened to meet Kakashi and Obito. Kyosuke-kun, here you are. Kakashi also found Kyosuke and went up to say hello. Kyosuke smiled and nodded in response. As for Obito, when he noticed Kyosuke's figure, he just glanced at Kyosuke lightly and turned his head away. Obito had a very indifferent expression on his face, and he didn't intend to pay any attention to what Kyosuke, does, meant. However, Kyosuke didn't care either. Kakashi, what about Minato-sensei? Kyosuke asked. I didn't see Namake's Minato at this time, and in Kyosuke's opinion, he was obviously a little early. This is not a good thing. Kyosuke always makes others wait for him. How can he wait for others? Kakashi, Minato-sensei still has some things to deal with, so I'll come over later. Kyosuke nodded when he heard the words. It seemed that Namake's Minato was really busy before leaving. Afterwards, Kyosuke chatted awkwardly with Kakashi. On the other hand, Obito kept a dark face and did not speak from the beginning to the end, as if someone owed him money and would not pay it back. However, what made Kyosuke speechless was that Kakashi was dumb, and Kyosuke had nothing to do with him at all. At this time, Kyosuke missed Lin a little bit. If I had her by my side, I wouldn't be so boring anymore. Chapter 156. After waiting for a while, basically everyone was there, and Namake's Minato, who finally got things done, appeared. Namake's Minato did not hesitate after he arrived, and briefly talked about the support for the Cloud Shinobi border this time, as well as some things to pay attention to, and then he led a group of troops and rushed towards the Cloud Shinobi border. Along the way, the wind is dining and sleeping in the open air. Apart from being busy on the journey, it was safe and sound, and there were no waves. After nearly 10 days of hasty marching, at last, Kyosuke and Namake's Minato led the large force and reached the border of Cloud Shinobi. It is not accurate to say that it is the Cloud Shinobi border. After all, if the great powers want to start a war and fight each other, it is impossible to fight between the two countries. A war is bound to break out. However, the battlefield was chosen by default in a small country sandwiched between the two countries. Anyway, no matter how much you fight, it will not spread to the territory of the big country. For example, in the Second Ninja World War, the main battlefield was not the Land of Rain, which was sandwiched between the Land of Fire and the Land of Wind. Today, the Kingdom of Yu and the Kingdom of Frost, sandwiched between the Kingdom of Fire and the Kingdom of Thunder, have become the main battlefields of Cloud Shinobi and Konoha. Cloud Shinobi Battlefield. Here at 510, Cloud Shinobi Village and Konoha Village have had several clashes with casualties on both sides. However, the Konoha side suffered more losses. On the one hand, Cloud Shinobi Village is the party that initiated the war and is well prepared. Konoha's side is well prepared, but compared with Cloud Shinobi Village, there are still deficiencies. Furthermore, on the other side of Cloud Shinobi Village, the Abbey group is sitting on the battlefield. 2 Forced Combination. Abbreviation, AB Combination. One is the son of Cloud Shinobi Village 3rd Raikage and the future 4th Raikage of Cloud Shinobi Village, AI. One is 8 Tails Jinchuriki, Killer Bee. The strength of the two of them is already close to Kage level. On Konoha's side, Jiraiya is sitting in town. Although, Jiraiya is a veteran Kage level, stronger than AI and Killer Bee. However, Abi combination is not simple. When AI and Killer Bee are paired together, the effect reaches 1+1 much greater than 2. Even Jiraiya can't have much advantage against them. Moreover, the dragon does not leave the sea, and the tiger does not leave the mountain. As the coach of Konoha's side, Jiraiya cannot leave the base camp unless he is forced to. If Jiraiya leaves base camp, join the battlefield. At that time, Cloud Shinobi Village is very likely to come to the bottom of the pot and directly attack Konoha's base camp in the Cloud Shinobi battlefield. Konoha will fall short. You must know that the Konoha base camp in the Cloud Shinobi battlefield is the base camp that provides supplies for the Konoha Shinobi. If it is really attacked by Cloud Shinobi Village, Konoha will have to retreat in this war with Cloud Shinobi Village, and there is no confidence to continue fighting with Cloud Shinobi Village. The battle between Sunagakure and Konoha, Kyosuke and Namake's Minato and others attacked and burned Sunagakure's supplies, is the best example. Furthermore, in Sunagakure, in addition to the main force of AB group, there is also two-tailed Jinchuriki. When it comes to fighting Konoha, Cloud Shinobi Village is not afraid at all. Aggressive. During this time, the pressure on Jiraiya's side was so great that it was almost unbearable. At this time, Kyosuke and his party have come to the Land of Soup. This small country sandwich between the Land of Fire and the Land of Thunder has become the main battlefield of Konoha and Cloud Shinobi Village. Along the way, Kyosuke saw many people who were displaced or escaped the war, or alone, or escaped this war-torn place with a family and a mouth. Everywhere I saw was a scene of desolate and dilapidated, riddled with war. The weak eat the strong. In this war, it has been perfectly explained. Along the way, Kyosuke was very emotional when he saw the scene of incomparable decline. At the same time, Kyosuke is also a little fortunate that the war did not spread to Konoha, CHFB, village. Minato-sensei, are we almost there? Kyosuke asked Namake's Minato, who was beside him. After more than 10 days of rushing on the road, for Kyosuke, he was not exhausted. However, such a trip is very boring. It's better to go to Jiraiya early and earn more quest points. Sorry, Kyosuke-kun. It's still some way to go. Namake's Minato had an apologetic expression on his face. Kyosuke's injury has not yet fully recovered. For the past 10 days, they have traveled day and night along the way, making Minato feel a little uneasy. However, at our current travel speed, I estimate that we will be there around this evening. As soon as he heard that it was possible to arrive at night, Kyosuke nodded and didn't ask any further questions. Sunset West Mountain. At dusk, the darkness gradually shrouded the sky, and stars twinkled faintly in the sky. The country of Soup, in a forest. In the forest, there is an open space, and many buildings are distributed in it. In the dark, there are a lot of lights here. Cloud Shinobi Battlefield, Konoha Base Camp. Coach tent. It was brightly lit inside. However, Jiraiya, who was sitting here, was sitting on the top seat with a sad face. Jiraiya, wearing a ninja vest, looked at the pieces of information on the table with a frown. He has already read these pieces of information, all of which are related to Konoha's war with Cloud Shinobi Village, Konoha's various setbacks and disadvantages, successive defeats, and heavy losses. Thinking of this, Jiraiya's heart became heavier. If the fight continues like this, Konoha will definitely lose the battle with Cloud Shinobi Village. Just as Jiraiya frowned, a Konoha Shinobi reporter came in from outside. Lord Jiraiya, Minato Jonin is here. Minato? Hearing the news reported by this Konoha Shinobi, Jiraiya raised her head, followed by a happy face. Is Minato finally here? And that would be great. Namake's Minato, his apprentice, has come, so he can greatly alleviate the current disadvantage of Konoha. Then, Lord Jiraiya, you see? Before the Konoha Shinobi could finish speaking, Jiraiya hurriedly said, hurry up and let Minato come to see me. Now, Jiraiya is worrying about Cloud Shinobi Village, and after Minato came, he can finally put down the heavy burden and relieve it. Yes, the Konoha Shinobi quit. Soon, Namake's Minato appeared in Jiraiya's coach tent. At the same time, Kyosuke, Kakashi, and Obito also followed. Chapter 157. Mr. Jiraiya, long time no see. Are you alright? As soon as Namake's Minato came in, with a warm smile on his face, he said to his respected teacher, Jiraiya. Minato. As soon as Namake's Minato came, Jiraiya stood up. You are finally here. If you come a little later, I'm afraid I can't stand it here. After his beloved disciple arrived, Jiraiya couldn't help spitting bitter water at Namake's Minato. Teacher has had a hard time. Clearly, he was having a hard time dealing with Cloud Shinobi Village's strong offense during this time. Teacher, we are late. I'm really sorry. 39 Hearing the words of the teacher, Namake's Minato felt very guilty and blamed himself. You have worked hard, teacher. Kyosuke on the side watched the interaction between Namake's Minato and Jiraiya, the master and the apprentice. To be honest, Kyosuke looked a little weird when he saw this picture of a good teacher and a good friend, a teacher and a disciple. He always felt that there was something wrong with this style of painting, but it is surprisingly not inconsistent. Moreover, upon seeing this, Kyosuke himself subconsciously thought that it was also a master-disciple relationship, Orochimaru and himself. If I and Orochimaru were to create this picture of the filial piety of a teacher and disciple, thinking of this, Kyosuke couldn't help shivering. This is really scary. Impossible. Absolutely impossible. He is not sure how long the cheap mentor-disciple relationship between himself and Orochimaru can last. Still this? Kyosuke's reaction here happened to be noticed by Kakashi, who was a little strange. Kyosuke-kun, what's wrong with you? Are you not feeling well? Kakashi thought that Kyosuke's injury wasn't getting better. While rushing to the battlefield of Cloud Shinobi, Kyosuke spoke to Kakashi from time to time. The relationship between the two is okay, and Kyosuke reluctantly admits Kakashi as his friend. Oh, it's all right, Kyosuke said casually. Then, Kyosuke couldn't help but ask, looks like Minato-sensei and Jiraiya-sama have a good relationship. Kakashi agreed with Kyosuke's words and nodded. Well, Jiraiya-sama is really kind to Minato-sensei. Kyosuke was a little surprised. He glanced at Kakashi. You seem very clear? Kakashi. No, it's just that every time Mr. Minato mentioned Jiraiya-sama to us, he always said that Jiraiya-sama is good. Kyosuke has a black line. 6,699 all kinds of good things from Jiraiya-sama? Jiraiya is a lascivious, lewd, and unreliable person. How are you? However, Kyosuke thought that Jiraiya took Nagato, Yahiko, Konan, and Naruto as apprentices in the original book, and painstakingly taught his apprentices. Speaking of which, Jiraiya is also considered a charismatic person. However, he is lecherous, unrestrained, wretched. The most real side of these human nature is displayed, and it is easy for people to ignore other aspects of his goodness. At this time, Kyosuke started to look at Jiraiya up close. He is tall, wears a forehead protector with the word oil written on it, has long bohemian white hair that reaches his waist, and has red marks under his eyes. He was wearing a vest, clogs, and armor-like equipment on both hands. One of the Konoha Sannin's first impressions of Kyosuke, not very good, but not bad either. Namake's Minato and Jiraiya, the master and the apprentice, meet, and naturally they have to exchange a few words. After the greeting, Jiraiya looked at Kyosuke and the others who followed Namake's Minato in. Kakashi and Obito are the disciples of Namake's Minato, and Jiraiya knows it. Then, Jiraiya turned his attention to Kyosuke. This child. Seeing Kyosuke, Jiraiya couldn't help squinting. Uchiha Kyosuke, this name, Jiraiya has heard a lot during this time. At the same time, there is his resounding title, Black Fang One Uchiha Kyosuke. It can be said that Uchiha Kyosuke is already famous among all Konoha shinobi fans. Uchiha Kyosuke, he defeated One-Tail Morizuru, even in the battle with Sunagakure, when Konoha was in an extremely unfavorable situation. It was he who led Konoha abruptly and turned the situation around. Uchiha Kyosuke is the genius of Konoha. It's Konoha's hero. Uchiha Kyosuke, we meet again. Jiraiya looked at the genius in front of him, with admiration and wonder in his eyes. Who would have thought that this young man would shine on the battlefield and make an amazing contribution? Even, who would have thought that this young man could actually defeat a tailed beast as powerful as Shoha? Flowers. When Kyosuke heard Jiraiya say this, he was a little surprised and looked at Jiraiya in front of him. Lord Jiraiya, do you know me? Now Kyosuke, he still thinks he is just a little-known person. Doesn't Jiraiya recognize himself? No, it's just a courtesy from Kyosuke. In fact, he himself knows that he is very famous now. The battle between Konoha and Sunagakure, Kyosuke became famous. Kyosuke became famous, and his reputation gradually spread in the ninja world. However, Kyosuke knows that the highest level of pretending is to not subconsciously think that he is very awesome. Moreover, Kyosuke has always been very low-key. Sure enough, when Kyosuke asked this, Jiraiya couldn't help but burst into laughter. Point 0. The younger brother of the Uchiha Patriarch, the student of that Orochimaru guy, Black Fangs, Uchiha Kyosuke. If I don't know you yet, then I really can't tell. Seeing Jiraiya say this to himself, Kyosuke also cooperated and smiled. I'm sorry. Kakashi on the side and Jiraiya, one of the Sanins, was a big man whom his teachers respected and praised Kyosuke so much, he couldn't help looking at Kyosuke next to him. In the eyes, there is both envy and admiration. And Obito next to Kakashi heard Jiraiya so praise Kyosuke, his lifelong rival in love. His heart is very uncomfortable. Uchiha Kyosuke can't be repaired. Speaking of which, Uchiha Kyosuke, you gave me a big surprise. 99 Jiraiya looked at Kyosuke, who was praised by himself, and showed a sorry expression, and he sighed a little. Jiraiya clearly remembers that the first time he noticed Kyosuke was during the actual combat examination for graduation from the ninja school. At that time, Kyosuke's neat and tidy physique made Jiraiya's eyes light up in the stands. Later, Jiraiya heard that her friend, Orochimaru, had taken in a student, Uchiha Kyosuke. Later, Uchiha Kyosuke followed Orochimaru to the border of the Land of Fire, and he heard in the village that Orochimaru's students, Uchiha Kyosuke, hunted countless sand shinobi on the border, and the record was amazing, called Black Fangs. Until recently, he received good news from the sand shinobi battlefield. Sunagakure surrendered and conceded defeat. Konoha won. Chapter 158. To be honest, Jiraiya was still on the rock shinobi battlefield at that time, struggling against rock shinobi's fierce offensive. When he learned that the battle on Sunagakure's side had been won, he was really surprised. Jiraiya did not expect that the battlefield over there would end so quickly. Then, the name Uchiha Kyosuke caught Jiraiya's attention again. While Jiraiya sighed, he knew that Konoha had produced an incredible genius. This genius is Uchiha Kyosuke. Just as Jiraiya praised Kyosuke, Namake's Minato also echoed. Teacher, Kyosuke really contributed to the battle with Sunagakure. Without Kyosuke, we couldn't have won Sunagakure so easily. 35 Hearing what his apprentice said, Jiraiya can't help but take Kyosuke more seriously. Now, the battlefield on Cloud Shinobi's side is May 10th. Konoha and Cloud Shinobi Village have lost several games in a row, and they have reached a deadlock. The situation is very unfavorable for Konoha. The arrival of Namake's Minato can indeed greatly relieve the pressure here. However, there is still not enough manpower. And Kyosuke, Jiraiya knows that he has the strength to defeat One-Tail Morizuru. As for the specific strength of Kyosuke, Jiraiya is not clear for the time being. However, he believes that Kyosuke must be strong and not weak. With Minato, his excellent apprentice, and Uchiha Kyosuke, Jiraiya believes that the next battle with Cloud Shinobi Village will make things much better. By the way, how is your injury? At this time, Jiraiya reacted and asked Kyosuke. Kyosuke defeated One-Tail Shukaku, but was also seriously injured. This situation, Jiraiya is aware of. He is worried that Kyosuke's injury has not recovered, and he cannot play Kyosuke's due strength on the battlefield. If that's the case, Jiraiya is a little too happy for Kyosuke's support. After all, he is really lacking in capable people here. Okay, it's almost done. Don't worry, it won't get in the way, Kyosuke said. Kyosuke's injuries had already fully recovered from the time he set out to support the Cloud Shinobi battlefield. Hearing Kyosuke's reply, Jiraiya put down her worries and nodded. Just as Jiraiya looked away from Kyosuke, he suddenly saw something familiar. That's... Jiraiya's eyes caught the crystal pendant on Kyosuke's neck. Jiraiya felt that the crystal pendant around Kyosuke's neck looked like Tsunade's. Seeing Jiraiya staring at the crystal pendant around his neck, Kyosuke knew that Jiraiya had probably guessed who the crystal pendant belonged to. Kyosuke is not surprised by this. You know, Jiraiya has been pursuing Tsunade since childhood. However, Nai Luohua is intentional, and Lu Shui is ruthless. For Jiraiya, Tsunade will always be the flower of high mountain that is out of reach. It's no surprise that Jiraiya, who is very fond of Tsunade, can notice the crystal pendant around Kyosuke's neck. Oh, Lord Jiraiya, do you mean this crystal pendant of mine? Seeing that Jiraiya's eyes were on his neck and he refused to take it away, Kyosuke had to take the crystal pendant out of his clothes. Jiraiya took a closer look and became more sure. That's right, this crystal pendant is the one Tsunade has been wearing. However, how could Tsunade, a precious crystal pendant, fall into Uchiha Kyosuke's hands? Did Tsunade give it to Uchiha Kyosuke? It's not likely. Jiraiya is a little confused, because he knew that this crystal pendant was very important and precious to Tsunade. Your pendant, very familiar. Like one of my companions, Jiraiya stared at the crystal pendant on Kyosuke's neck and spoke slowly. As expected of Mr. Jiraiya, you have discovered this. 99 Kyosuke appropriately compliments Jiraiya. Next, Kyosuke gave the Jiraiya answer. This crystal pendant was given to me by Tsunade-san. When Kyosuke said it, he still had a smile on his face. Hey! Jiraiya was a little stunned. Sister Tsunade? To you? Jiraiya really couldn't believe what Kyosuke said. Gasho, who was very important to the crystal pendant, actually gave it to Uchiha Kyosuke. Jiraiya is really confused. And many more. Miss Tsunade? Uchiha Kyosuke called Tsunade Sister Tsunade. Could it be? Tsunade, she remembered Nawaki, and put that affection on Uchiha Kyosuke? Should be. Can't go wrong. Jiraiya couldn't help but understand. You're very lucky boy. That guy Tsunade can give you something so precious as her. Jiraiya looked at Kyosuke with admiration. The value of this crystal pendant itself is extremely precious. In addition, this crystal is Tsunade's personal item, which is nourished by the snow peak day and night. This thing, Tsunade gave to Kyosuke, naturally made Jiraiya especially envious. Jiraiya's feelings for Tsunade have never changed. However, the reality is cruel. In the pursuit of Tsunade, he has suffered repeated defeats. Hearing the sourness in Jiraiya's words, Kyosuke felt a little bit ignorant of happiness at this time, touched the crystal pendant, and smiled nonchalantly. This thing is precious? No way, Jiraiya-sama. I think it's just a very ordinary stone. Except that it feels very good to the touch. I don't see anything precious. Having said this, Kyosuke also showed a rather disgusting look. To be honest, before Tsunade-san said she gave me this thing, I don't want it yet. This thing is useless except for decoration, and it's more realistic to not give me some money. 55 Hearing Kyosuke's words, Jiraiya glared at Kyosuke. His eyes were about to pop out angrily. Oh what? You do not want? Tsunade gave it to you? Do you still dislike it? Boy, if you really want it, you can give it to me. Jiraiya was really sacked by Kyosuke, and she felt a little unbalanced in her heart. Boy, do you know how precious the value of this crystal pendant is? Jiraiya gritted her teeth and asked Kyosuke in a sour tone. Isn't this just an ordinary pendant? It's just a stone. What's so precious or not? Kyosuke pretended to be dumb as always. R. Jiraiya was really d off by Kyosuke. In the end, he simply turned his eyes away and stopped paying attention to these. Come on out of sight. What Kyosuke and Jiraiya said just now, Namikaze Minato couldn't get in a word. All he knew was that the crystal pendant on Kyosuke's neck originally belonged to Tsunade-sama. Judging from the teacher's reaction, the crystal pendant looked very precious. Originally, Namikaze Minato was speechless. Now, seeing that the teacher finally stopped entangled with the crystal pendant, Namikaze Minato asked at the right time, Teacher, how is the situation here now? Chapter 159. Now, Namikaze Minato only knows that the situation on the Cloud Shinobi battlefield is very serious. However, the specific situation, he still did not understand. Hearing Namikaze Minato's question, Jiraiya just now felt relieved because of the support from Namikaze Minato and Kyosuke, and shook his head with a bad expression. Not very optimistic? Some time ago, we played against Cloud Shinobi Village twice, but both were disastrous and the losses were very serious. Jiraiya said this with a very regretful expression. After all, the two defeats not only cost them a lot, but Konoha's morale is very low now. How can a team with low morale face the enemy next? At this point, Kyosuke asked. Although Cloud Shinobi Village is fully prepared this time, they have an active advantage, but the village also made preparations at the first time. Cloud Shinobi and their advantages should not be very big. Kyosuke is right. Since Cloud Shinobi Village took the initiative to provoke a war against Konoha, Konoha immediately made a defensive deployment. It stands to reason that even if Konoha's side is at a disadvantage, it is unlikely that 27 will be in such a bad situation. What's more, Jiraiya, one of the Konoha Sanins, sits here. Jiraiya is a veteran Kaga-level powerhouse, who has gone through World War II in the ninja world and has rich experience. The question that Kyosuke said was also what Namikaze Minato wanted to know. However, upon hearing Kyosuke's question, Jiraiya smiled bitterly. It's true, although they made preparations in advance, we are not unprepared, but we're here. We still don't have enough manpower. Cloud Shinobi Village sent AI, the son of Third Raikage, and their village's 8 Tails Jinchuriki Killer Bee. The combination of these two is very tricky. We here, except me, have no one to hold back on the battlefield. Them. son of third Raikage, AI, and his brother, Eight Tails Jinchuriki Killer Bee? Kaiosuk was taken aback when he heard the names of the two of them. Cloud Shinobi Village's future fourth Raikage and Eight Tails Jinchuriki are here too? Kaiosuk was a little surprised. At the same time, Kaiosuk was also eager to try. Future fourth Raikage AI. Eight Tails Jinchuriki Killer Bee. Kaiosuk, he would like to play against this AB combination to see who is stronger and who is weaker. Son of third Raikage and Eight Tails Jinchuriki? Hearing Jiraiya mention the two, Namake's Minato frowned subconsciously. These two people, Namake's Minato, he has heard of, they are indeed very difficult to exist. Fourth Raikage son, AI, uses lightning style, which can be described as superb and amazing. And that Eight Tails Jinchuriki Killer Bee, according to rumors, he is the most perfect Eight Tails Jinchuriki among the Eight Tails Jinchuriki in all dynasties, and can completely turn into a tail beast. The strength of each of these two people is very strong. Not only that, when the two of them are combined, the power they exert is very amazing. Abi Combo. Cloud Shinobi Village has a tradition that every Raikage must have a partner. Raikage inherits the name of AI, and the partner inherits the name of Bai. In Cloud Shinobi Village, AI, the son of third Raikage, and Killer Bee alone are already putting a lot of pressure on us. 35 Jiraiya continued. Not to mention the tricky two-tailed Jinchuriki. Speaking of which, Jiraiya just felt tired for a while. Tailed beasts have always been extremely powerful weapons of war. This time, in order to win against Konoha, Cloud Shinobi Village took great pains and directly sent two Jinchuriki from their village to the battlefield here. Gotta say, this is kind of crazy. However, when Kaiosuk heard this, he was surprised. Eight Tails Jinchuriki Killer Bee came. Kaiosuk was a little surprised, but he expected it. But what happened to this two-tailed Jinchuriki? Two Tails, named Matatabi, is a cat demon with blue chakra flames all over her body. Jinchuriki and Kaiosuk of Urwei only remember Wooden Golem, the second Yuzu of the Kingdom of Thunder. However, after Kaiosuk thought about it, he was relieved. This time, the two-tailed Jinchuriki sent by Cloud Shinobi Village may be the previous one before Yuzu Wooden Golem. When Jiraiya said this, Kaiosuk almost understood why Jiraiya was here, and it was difficult. It is indeed a lot of pressure to meet the Abi combination and add another two-tailed Jinchuriki. In addition, Jiraiya is going to be in the base camp again, and she is not very sure that she will not rashly leave to contain AI and Killer Bee. Thinking of this, Kaiosuk felt a little pity for Jiraiya. In this ninja war, Konoha Sannin, Jiraiya came to the most stress-resistant battlefield. After Jiraiya's remarks, Kaiosuk and Namake's Minato almost understood how bad Konoha's situation is in this Cloud Shinobi battlefield. Before Konoha and Cloud Shinobi Village had two massive head-to-head battles, Konoha not only lost a lot of ninjas. Moreover, after two defeats, Konoha Shinobi's morale has been suppressed very low. In this regard, Kaiosuk had already noticed it. Just now, when they entered here, most of the Konoha Shinobi people they encountered had dim eyes and no hope of victory. After Jiraiya finished talking about the specific situation here, it was almost late at night. 510, okay, that's basically the situation here. Jiraiya said, "You have worked so hard to come here, and you must be tired. As for what to do next, let's talk about it tomorrow now. You go to rest first." 35 Now that Jiraiya has said so, Kaiosuk and Namake's Minato are also ready to leave. At this time, it was indeed very late. Jiraiya still takes care of Kaiosuk and Namake's Minato, to some extent, and let them rest early. "Okay, teacher. I and Kaiosuk-kun will come over tomorrow to discuss with you." Jiraiya nodded. After leaving the coaching tent, Kaiosuk separated from Namake's Minato and others. Under the arrangement of the relevant personnel, Kaiosuk spent his first night in the Cloud Shinobi battlefield peacefully, silent all night. The next day, early in the morning, Kaiosuk got up. Ding. System prompt. The daily task is 5,000 positive punches, 5,000 deep squats, and 20 kilometers of cross-country with a 50 kilograms load. The task is completed. Get quest reward, 5 quest points. As always, Kaiosuk completed the day-to-day tasks of the system. Now, his mission points have reached 953 points. There are still 47 mission points left, and then there will be another lottery draw. Chapter 160. Kaiosuk felt a little helpless every time he encountered dozens of mission points. It seems that we still have to wait until after we enter the battlefield to hunt down a few ninjas from Cloud Shinobi Village. In addition to the quest points, Kaiosuk's Taijutsu, Shaved, has reached the Grandmaster level, and Air Dance has also reached the proficiency level. This is due to the fact that during the more than 10 days of travel, Kaiosuk constantly used shaving and dance to hurry. Naturally, the proficiency has greatly improved. At that time, Namikaze Minato and Kakashi and others were really envious when they saw Kaiosuk flying in the air using the air dance. After completing the daily tasks, Kaiosuk wandered around the Konoha base camp here again, wandering boredly, to get acquainted with the environment. Then, when he felt about the same, he hurried back to his home. After finishing everything, Kaiosuk came to Jiraiya's coach tent. Inside, Jiraiya and Namikaze Minato have come early. At this time, their master and apprentice are discussing something. Yo too, it's very early. Kaiosuk walked in and said hello to Namikaze Minato and Jiraiya. Namikaze Minato smiled when he saw Kaiosuk coming. Kaiosuk-kun, here we come. Jiraiya next to Namikaze Minato glanced at Kaiosuk, rather speechlessly. It's already 8 or 9 o'clock, and the sun is almost halfway up. Is it still early? What are you discussing? Kaiosuk asked, directly ignoring Jiraiya's speechless look. Kaiosuk, AI and Killer Bee of Cloud Shinobi Village. He's the main force of Cloud Shinobi, and it's hard to handle. So? Jiraiya looked at Kaiosuk and said, I discussed with Minato, on the battlefield, let Minato contain AI and Killer Bee. As for you, you should be able to restrain Erwei Jinchuriki. 35 From Jiraiya's point of view, since Kaiosuk can defeat one tail Morizuru, it shouldn't be a difficult task for Jinchuriki to go up to the second tail. Besides, it's not necessary for Kaiosuk to defeat Neo Jinchuriki, just let Kaiosuk hold him back. Namikaze Minato nodded to Jiraiya's words. That's right, Kaiosuk-kun, AI and Killer Bee. Once they are combined, they are very difficult to entangle, and AI is good at lightning style, very fast, and my flying thunder god technique just restrains them. As for the two-tailed Jinchuriki, it's time to trouble Kaiosuk-kun. Hearing what Jiraiya and Namikaze Minato said, Kaiosuk couldn't refute anything. Although his speed is also fast, he is not too shy compared to Namikaze Minato. Also, Kaiosuk would love to play against future Fourth Raikage and Killer Bee. However, Kaiosuk could only agree to the arrangement of Jiraiya and Namikaze Minato. It seems that this is the result that the master and the apprentice negotiated. However, when it really comes to the battlefield, if given the chance, Kaiosuk decided he would still take on the future Fourth Raikage and Eight Tails Jinchuriki. Okay, no problem, listen to you. Kaiosuk nodded and agreed. Immediately afterwards, the three carefully discussed how to deal with Cloud Shinobi Village and the arrangement of the battlefield. However, before Kaiosuk and the three of them could discuss the specific situation, someone came in from outside the tent. Report, Jiraiya-sama, according to the information, we have discovered that there is a team from Cloud Shinobi Village on the front line, spying on our situation. 99A Konoha Shinobi came to report. If it was before Kaiosuk and Namikaze Minato came. Faced with a provocative move like Cloud Shinobi Village, Jiraiya planned to ignore it. What if this is a trick to lure the enemy? But now, it is different. Kaiosuk and Namikaze Minato have already arrived, so Jiraiya doesn't have much hesitation. Send the order, arrange the personnel, and then attack directly. Jiraiya didn't have to think too much, just arrange the tunnel like this. Facing Cloud Shinobi Village, Jiraiya had put up with them for too long. Such humiliation. Uncomfortable. Now, they Konoha desperately need a victory to break the stalemate between Konoha and Cloud Shinobi Village. Yes. 99 Soon, the Konoha Shinobi withdrew. In the tent, as soon as he heard that there was going to be a battle, Kaiosuk was instantly refreshed. That was the signal that the mission point beckoned to him. Now, he is still a few dozen mission points away from the lottery. So, this time to attack Cloud Shinobi Village, he must go. Cough cough. At this time, Kaiosuk took the initiative and said, Master Jiraiya, since Cloud Shinobi Village is so arrogant, I think it is necessary to let them see the power of our Konoha. Do they really think we can just deal with it? Kaiosuk looked serious. So, for this mission, I have to participate. To be honest, Jiraiya was really surprised to see Kaiosuk taking such initiative. Did not expect. This boy is also very responsible, quite proactive. On the other hand, Namikaze Minato, who was beside Jiraiya, showed an expression like this when he reacted to Kaiosuk's reaction. Namikaze Minato really admires Kaiosuk. Namikaze Minato noticed when he confronted Tsunagakure at the border of the Fire Country. Whenever there is a mission to attack Sand Shinobi, Kaiosuk is always the first to request it. Kaiosuk is always so positive and proactive. In Namikaze Minato's view, Kaiosuk is so responsible. Okay, this task is left to you and Minato. Jiraiya nodded and agreed. Casually, he added, "This battle with Cloud Shinobi Village is about boosting our morale. It's important for what it is. 99. So you can only win, not lose." Having said this, Jiraiya's face, Lee does, also became serious. After the first two fiasco, Konoha's morale has been very depressed. If I lose this battle with Cloud Shinobi Village, then Konoha will undoubtedly lose even more in the future if he fights against Cloud Shinobi Village. His teacher, Namikaze Minato, also knows that the success of this mission is directly related to boosting Konoha's morale. They can only win. However, for Jiraiya's concern and solemnity, and Namikaze Minato's seriousness, Kyosuke seemed a little casual, and he waved his hand. "Don't worry. Since Cloud Shinobi Village dares to come out to provoke so arrogantly, then I will let them go without a return." 5. Kyosuke and Namikaze Minato left Jiraiya's coaching tent and went back to prepare first. After a while, they quickly arrived at the meeting point. This mission, led by Kyosuke and Namikaze Minato, consisted of a dozen people. Chapter 161. This time, Namikaze Minato briefly explained to a dozen team members. Namikaze Minato is naturally familiar with these things leading the team, and Kyosuke is naturally idle by the side. The task is actually very simple: directly destroy the Cloud Shinobi Village team that invaded to spy on the situation. Of course, if you can, leave as many as you can to get some information about Cloud Shinobi Village out of their mouths. Now that the introduction is over, Namikaze Minato will assign the responsibilities of the squad. After that, Kyosuke and Namikaze Minato stopped too much delay and went straight to their destination. Soup Country. More than 10 kilometers away from Konoha Base Camp, there is a quite hidden dense forest. At this time, more than a dozen ninjas with the Cloud logo forehead protector on their heads were gathering here. "Captain, we are very close to where Konoha is located. If we go further, we will be exposed sooner or later." 35 at this time, a Cloud Shinobi ninja said to the leader. Generally speaking, within a dozen or 20 kilometers of Konoha Base Camp, there are basically Konoha Shinobi people watching. Now this team of Cloud Shinobi Village Ninjas 510 is already within the scope of Konoha's exploration. The Cloud Shinobi ninja was worried that if they continued to go further, they would fall into the circle of Konoha sooner or later. The leader of the Cloud Shinobi Village team is a very tall, burly-looking, dark-skinned strong man. After hearing this, the strong team leader smiled indifferently and said, "Atsuta, while it's good for us to be careful, sometimes being too vigilant can backfire. 35 backfire?" The Cloud Shinobi ninja, Asda, looked at his leader in confusion. Then, the brawny leader explained. After Konoha's 2 fiasco defeats, the losses have been heavy, and their detection range will also be reduced. Judging from the current situation of Konoha, even if they discovered us, they probably wouldn't do anything easily. What's more, they may not be able to find us now. Having said that, Cloud Shinobi's face is full of confidence. "It is so." Hearing what the strong team leader said, the Cloud Shinobi ninja named Asda suddenly realized. It seems, CHFB, that he is indeed overly worried. Moreover, they are here to probe Konoha-related information. If they don't go further, how can they get more valuable information? "Captain is right, Asda. You're still too young. That is, with Konoha's current situation, even if they really found us, what would they dare to do?" 99. What is there to be afraid of Konoha? Don't worry. That's right. 66. 99. The group from Cloud Shinobi Village also confidently agreed with the way of accord. After the first 2 battles with Konoha, the morale of Cloud Shinobi Village can be regarded as playing. Now, if they meet Konoha Shinobi, they are also completely true. To put it nicely, it is called self-confidence. To put it mildly, it is called inflation. The Cloud Shinobi ninja named Asda, seeing his companions say so, scratched his head a little embarrassedly and said with a smile, "If I say that, it's true that I think too much. In this team, he is relatively young and has less qualifications." At this time, the companion on the side patted his shoulder and said, "Atsuta, don't be nervous, relax, Konoha really has nothing to be afraid of." However, before he could finish speaking, a crisp sound of tearing through the air suddenly sounded in the silent air. Call out. In the forest, a cold light flashed by. "There is an enemy attack. Be alert." The brawny team leader at the head was the first to react. His expression changed, his brows furrowed, and he hurriedly shouted at the group behind him. Hearing the captain's shout, a group of Uniying ninjas also hurriedly woke up from their relaxed state. Soon, they looked extremely nervous and alerted. Although, the team leader of the strong man reminded Cloud Shinobi Ninja for the first time. However, after all, someone fell in the trick. Puff. The extremely sharp kunai directly hit the Cloud Shinobi ninja, who told Asda that Konoha had nothing to fear, and pierced his head. That blood with temperature splashed straight on Asda's face. Under Asda's terrified gaze, the companion who had a good relationship with him was shot in the head, and his death was extremely tragic. Ah, ah, ah. At the same time, Asda, who was so frightened by this scene in front of her, screamed and fell to the ground again and again, and kept crawling back. Hey, you are wrong. Could it be that your parents, who haven't educated you well, can't speak ill of people behind their backs? At this time, in the silent and murderous jungle, a slightly lazy voice sounded. This sound directly made the hearts of a group of Cloud Shinobi ninjas tense, and they all looked around the dense forest in horror. Who? Come out. The strong man leader had a gloomy face, and the corners of his eyes could not stop vigilantly looking around. In this team of Cloud Shinobi ninjas, he is the most composed. At this time, these Cloud Shinobi ninjas were quite experienced, and in the deep predicament, they all spontaneously backed their teammates and formed a defensive formation. One thing I want to explain to you. The lazy voice just now sounded again. Konoha has nothing to be afraid of. I don't agree with this point of view. After Kyosuke finished speaking, his figure also appeared on a tall tree trunk, exposed to the eyes of a group of Cloud Shinobi ninjas. Afterwards, Namake's Minato, along with a group of Konoha shinobi who followed, surrounded a group of Cloud Shinobi who were in a state of defense. At this time, after seeing Kyosuke, Namake's Minato, and others, the strong team leader's already gloomy face couldn't help but become more dignified. The two people in front of him, although he saw it for the first time. However, he recognized it. It's you, Namake's Minato, and you, Uchiha Kyosuke. When he said the names of Kyosuke and Namake's Minato, the face of the Cloud Shinobi ninja brawny leader was gloomy and terrible. He knew that this time they were unlucky enough to encounter a tough stubble. It really hit the iron plate. A team of Cloud Shinobi ninjas who were in a state of extreme tension. When they heard the captain say the names of these two people, all faces changed greatly. In front of you, it was Namake's Minato and Uchiha Kyosuke. Maybe Namake's Minato, who is not so famous, they haven't heard much. 18. Black Fong, Uchiha Kyosuke. This person they absolutely know. Chapter 162. Asterisk. It's Uchiha Kyosuke. It's the Black Fangs, that bloodthirsty killer who killed countless enemies. Kyosuke's reputation, after the battle with Shine Village, not only spread to Konoha Village, but was hailed as a hero in the village. What's more, it has been introduced into the ninja villages of major countries. Kill God. Thinking of this, Cloud Shinobi Ninja and the others showed a bit of despair in their eyes, because they know that once the Black Fangs are dispatched, it will definitely be a bloodthirsty hunt. Ding. System prompt. Congratulations to the host for hunting down a Chunin and getting 30 quest points. 35. The system's clear prompt sound resounded in Kyosuke's mind. A Chunin provides 30 quest points. Now, Kyosuke is still 27 mission points short of the draw. At this time, Kyosuke was not in a hurry. After all, the living mission points are all here, and they cannot escape. Oh, I didn't expect you to know me. Kyosuke was a little surprised to hear that the strong team leader in front of him could say his name. This is the first time Kyosuke has seen this burly man in front of him. And these people in Cloud Shinobi Village, seeing their faces showing fear, obviously know themselves. It seems that he is now a little famous in the ninja world. Then since this is said, the current main task of the system, Kyosuke estimated that it should barely be considered to meet the requirements of the system. However, this task is to give a reward at the end of the 3 wars, according to the degree of his fame. System produced must be a boutique. According to Kyosuke's understanding of the system, the rewards given will be excellent. Kyosuke is even looking forward to it. Kyosuke felt that he was going too far. Back to reality. But since you dare to come here, then prepare to stay here. At this time, Kyosuke was playing with a kunai in his hand, and the kunai was moving flexibly between Kyosuke's fingers as if alive. Goo. Goo. 5. Looking at Kyosuke, standing high, many of the Cloud Shinobi ninjas below couldn't help swallowing. Obviously, Kyosuke put a lot of pressure on them. Insanity. As soon as he heard Kyosuke said that he wanted to keep them all here, the strong man's team leader immediately scolded him angrily. He stared at Kyosuke angrily. The person who killed us still dares to be so rude. Uchiha Kyosuke, are you and our Cloud Shinobi so easy to bully? Just wait for our Cloud Shinobi's revenge. Hearing the stern words from the strong team leader, Kyosuke couldn't help but raise his eyebrows. Sure enough, The people who came out of Cloud Shinobi Village are so arrogant and unreasonable. Speaking of Cloud Shinobi Village, it is a martial art. Most of the people of Cloud Shinobi Village have dark skin, and they are good at swordsmanship, as well as lightning style and popular ninjutsu. This is a village that attaches great importance to physical skills, and the style of martial arts prevails. Ninjutsu. This is quite similar to the Taijutsu that Kyosuke majored in, but it is also different. The so-called ninjutsu is to make full use of chakra on the basis of taijutsu to activate the body, so as to achieve the effect of amazing speed and attack. And most of the taijutsu used by Kyosuke these days is purely taijutsu and does not rely on chakra. Because the people of Cloud Shinobi Village are good at swordsmanship, lightning style, and popular ninjutsu. Therefore, the overall strength of the ninjas in their villages is much stronger than that of the ninjas in other villages. The strength of the village make Cloud Shinobi's ninja rampant and domineering, and he doesn't pay much attention to the ninjas of other villages. Just like now, this team of Cloud Shinobi Village ninjas has been surrounded by Kyosuke and Namikaze Minato. However, the strong leader of the Cloud Shinobi Village still threatened Kyosuke with a stern look. How could Kyosuke be so used to him? Want to pretend to be in front of him? Sorry, you are not qualified. Kyosuke is silent, but the kunai that he was playing with in his hands flexibly shuttled between his fingers, but, like a bullet out of the chamber, it shot at a Cloud Shinobi ninja. The voice broke, and the cold light flashed. Be careful. Get out of the way. The strongman leader quickly reminded his subordinates. Kyosuke's attack speed is too fast and very sharp. He was able to react, and he was able to dodge immediately. However, he didn't have the ability to resist it, so he could only watch the kunai shoot towards his subordinates quickly. Those Cloud Shinobi ninjas do not have the quick reaction speed of the strong leader. 4 flowers. Soon, a Cloud Shinobi ninja was killed directly by Kyosuke. Ding. System prompt. Congratulations to host. Hunt down a Chunin and get 30 mission points. Ding. System prompt. The task point has reached 1,000. Does the host start the lottery? A series of crisp system prompts sounded in Kyosuke's mind. Finally got enough 1,000 quest points. Kyosuke breathed a sigh of relief. Immediately after, Kyosuke ordered the system without hesitation. Lottery. Ding. System received. The lottery is in progress. The lottery is in progress. Ding. The lottery is over. Ding. Congratulations to the host. Successfully extracted. Observation Haki. Beginner. Note. Observation Haki, one of the 3 kinds of Haki, can make people's facial features sharp, can detect the breath of surrounding creatures, the Haki of emotional changes, can also be used to predict and avoid danger. 0. It's Observation Haki. Kyosuke was a little surprised. Before, he had already drawn Armament Haki. Now his Armament Haki proficiency has reached the proficiency level, and will soon be able to break through to reach Grandmaster. 3 kinds of Haki, Kyosuke already has 2, and the last Conqueror's Haki is missing. I don't know if he will be able to draw after this. If it can be drawn, it will be perfect. After all, Kyosuke is barely a person with obsessive-compulsive disorder, and if he doesn't put together the 3 kinds of Haki, he will always feel uncomfortable in his heart. Besides, Conqueror's Haki is awesome too. How can it be repaired? Hateful. His subordinates died one after another at the hands of Uchiha Kyosuke, and the strong team leader was really enraged. Right now, he can't wait to eat Kyosuke alive. Kyosuke-kun, don't let them escape, do it. On one side, Namikaze Minato, who had already surrounded Cloud Shinobi ninjas, was also ready to start. Also, stay alive as much as possible. At this time, Namikaze Minato still reminded Kyosuke. Having been with Kyosuke for a while, Namikaze Minato understands Kyosuke's style somewhat. Whenever an enemy falls into Kyosuke's hands, Kyosuke will directly kill it, and there is no possibility of survival at all. So, he had to remind Kyosuke for a while. Chapter 163. Don't worry, Minato-sensei. At best, I'll give up at the end and save my life. Kyosuke replied. But, when you have obtained the information, then the job must be handed over to me to end it. Kyosuke also reminded Namikaze Minato. After all, less adds up. No matter how small a mosquito is, it is still meat. Namikaze Minato was speechless after hearing this. Namikaze Minato's impression of Kyosuke is still very good, but there is one thing about Kyosuke that makes him frown. That is Kyosuke's slaughter, bloodthirsty, too much. The living must be handed over to him to end it. This kind of thing, Namikaze Minato is not the first time he has seen it. When he was on a mission with Kyosuke before, Namake's Minato found out that Kaiosuk always likes to grab people's heads and make up for knives. This abnormal behavior of Kaiosuk, the wave of May 10th when Minato, is extremely incomprehensible. In the end, Namake's Minato can only be attributed to Kaiosuk killing too much, and his heart is a little twisted. This may be a special bloody hobby of Kaiosuk. Cloud Shinobi Ninja and Konoha Shinobi have not yet officially started. Kaiosuk and Namake's Minato have already planned the future for this team of Cloud Shinobi Ninja. This is a shame for the arrogant Cloud Shinobi Ninja. When the Cloud Shinobi Ninjas who were present heard it, they all gritted their teeth and were thoroughly enraged. Damn, Konoha people, stop looking down on people. A person who has been defeated twice by our Cloud Shinobi dares to be so arrogant with us. Extremely arrogant. Kill? Come on, everyone, and kill them. Come together. Kill. Kill. At this moment, the Cloud Shinobi Ninja erupted, and the desire to survive drove them to kill the Konoha Shinobi who surrounded them. Kaiosuk and Namake's Minato also immediately killed them. Kill. Kill. 39 Ms. Minato, you go and deal with their leader first, and I'll come to help you after I've cleaned up the little fish and shrimps in Cloud Shinobi. After Kaiosuk finished speaking to Namake's Minato, his figure flashed, and he went straight to Cloud Shinobi. Among this team of Cloud Shinobi ninjas, the strong team leader is the strongest. Kaiosuk estimated that the strong man was an elite jonin. If Kaiosuk faced him, he would be able to kill him, but it is quite time-consuming. With this time, wouldn't it be nice for him to hunt down the rest of Cloud Shinobi? Small fish and shrimp? Namake's Minato's mouth twitched a few times as Kaiosuk called these Cloud Shinobi ninjas. However, Kaiosuk's plan, he also thinks it can be done. Following up, Namake's Minato got serious and greeted the brawny leader. Come on, your opponent is me. Kaiosuk's current strength, without opening the 8 inner gates and the first order genetic lock, is close to elite jonin. Moreover, he can now open 5 gates of 8 inner gates without injury. Even if he opens 6 gates in a short period of time, it will not be a big problem. If he bursts out with all his strength and opens the 8 inner gates plus the first order of genetic locks, Kaiosuk believes that even if the opponent is a Kaga-level powerhouse, he has the power to fight. Now, facing these Cloud Shinobi Genin, Chunin, Jonin, Kaiosuk have no desire to do it. Too weak. The meaning of their existence is to provide Kaiosuk with a lot of quest points. That's all. Go to hell, Uchiha Kyosuke. 95 Lightning Style, Black Panther. In the air, black lightning flashed suddenly. Immediately afterwards, a black cheetah with a roar and thunder rushed straight towards Kyosuke. Oh, it's pretty good. Kyosuke didn't expect that the opponent would actually have this good lightning style. He was a little surprised. Moreover, looking at the power of this lightning style ninjutsu of the opponent, it is estimated that it is a B-level ninjutsu. To be honest, among many ninjutsu, lightning style ninjutsu is undoubtedly the coolest, and its power is also very powerful. Lightning style ninjutsu is definitely the best choice for pretending to be a pickup girl. Even Kyosuke wants to practice lightning style, especially that lightning style chakra mode, lightning style armor, lightning style strongest armor. In theory, it is possible for Kyosuke to learn lightning style ninjutsu. After all, his ninjutsu talent is not bad. Moreover, he himself has the chakra of the thunder attribute. To the point, the cheetah made of black lightning dashed towards Kyosuke quickly. In the eyes of outsiders, the speed of the black lightning cheetah is already very fast. However, in Kyosuke's eyes, the speed is very average. What's more, Kyosuke also won the observation haki by lottery just now, and the sensitivity of his facial features has been further improved. Unable to help, Kyosuke suddenly became interested in the lightning style of Cloud Shinobi Ninja. All in all, Kyosuke didn't dodge. He just wanted to be electrocuted abruptly to experience what it would feel like. Iron body. Soon, Kyosuke's body swelled into strength, and his whole body was in a super defensive state. At the same time, the black lightning cheetah also roared through and enveloped Kyosuke. Haha, Black Fong Uchiha Kyosuke, I don't think so. Seeing his lightning style ninjutsu hit Kyosuke and cast Cloud Shinobi Jonin with lightning style Black Panther, he couldn't help laughing. However, before he could be complacent for long, the next second, Kyosuke's voice sounded, "Really? But your lightning style doesn't seem to do me any harm." Hearing Kyosuke's voice, Cloud Shinobi Jonin stopped abruptly and looked at Kyosuke intently. At this time, Kyosuke was still standing intact, and the black lightning had long since disappeared. "You're actually fine. How is this possible?" The name, Cloud Shinobi Jonin, was obviously stunned by Kyosuke. That's Class B ninjutsu. Uchiha Kyosuke's body can actually resist his lightning style. This, too pervert. After being struck by lightning, Kyosuke only felt numb. 5.1 That feeling, like taking a sauna, is kind of comfortable. Then, with the Cloud Shinobi Jonin still in a stunned state, Kyosuke attacked. Tempest Kick. The invisible vacuum slashing wave quickly slashed towards the Cloud Shinobi Jonin. What? Kyosuke's blow, Tempest Kick, directly slashed him out, dripping with blood. However, Kyosuke's attack was not over. Shave. 99 Kyosuke's figure flashed, and he soon came to the side of Cloud Shinobi Jonin who was flying. Under his extremely terrified gaze, Kyosuke raised the kunai in his hand and swiped, and said indifferently, "Die, puff." Cloud Shinobi Jonin. The head is separated in an instant. Ding. System prompt. Congratulations to host. You successfully hunted down a Jonin and got 100 quest points. It's simple. 100 mission points and you'll get it. Chapter 164. The cruelty of Kyosuke's methods deterred many Cloud Shinobi ninjas who wanted to rush forward. However, the tragic death of their companions also aroused their anger even more. Let's go together and kill Uchiha Kyosuke. 35. Kill him and avenge his companions. Kill. In the face of these Cloud Shinobi ninjas swept away by anger, Kyosuke's face is quite disdain. Avenge your comrade? Oh, ridiculous. Next, the unilateral slaughter began. Ding. System prompt. Congratulations to host. You have successfully hunted down a Genin and gained 10 mission points. Ding. System prompt. Congratulations to host. You successfully hunted down a Chunin and got 30 mission points. Ding. System prompt. Congratulations to host. Soon after, Kyosuke's battle here came to an end. In the end, Kyosuke still remembered what Namikaze Minato told him, so he held back a little and saved the life of one Cloud Shinobi Chunin. After dismantling his limbs, Kyosuke kicked him aside and instructed the Konoha Shinobi who followed for soy sauce. You are optimistic about him. Just keep your breath. Don't kill him. 35 Konoha and Cloud Shinobi fought twice. Although Konoha was defeated, morale was severely demoralized. 27 However, Konoha Shinobi's hatred for Cloud Shinobi continued unabated. After all, many of their companions died tragically at the hands of Cloud Shinobi ninjas. Kyosuke has to remind these Konoha Shinobi who are angry and want to kill the enemy, don't kill this Cloud Shinobi Chunin. Yes, Kyosuke-sama. At this time, the Konoha Shinobi who came out following Kyosuke and Namikaze Minato looked at Kyosuke with admiration on their faces. Before, they were extremely suffocated by Cloud Shinobi. But now, Kyosuke has killed a lot of Cloud Shinobi ninjas. At this time, the suffocation and discomfort that were pressing in their hearts were instantly washed away by this victory. The strong, no matter their age, no matter where they are, they will be respected. They call Kyosuke an adult, which is a kind of worship to the strong. Of course, Kyosuke didn't care much about these. In Kyosuke's words, all that is said is false, and it is better to use something practical. The battle is over here on Kyosuke, but not on Namikaze Minato's side. At this point, he was still there, fighting a deadlock with the big Cloud Shinobi leader. However, after Kyosuke looked at the situation over there, he estimated that it was almost over. That Cloud Shinobi brawny leader, though it's elite Jonin. However, compared to Namikaze Minato, he still has a clear gap. In addition, Kyosuke's side has ended the battle and killed all his subordinates. All his subordinates died tragically in front of his eyes, and the strong man who led the team was almost crazy. However, he could only helplessly watch. In this case, he is no match for Namikaze Minato. Kyosuke was afraid that Namikaze Minato would steal his head, and his figure flashed past. Minato-sensei, I'm here to help you. The Cloud Shinobi strong team leader was already at the end of the game. Kyosuke suddenly attacked and sent him away. The kunai in Kyosuke's hand pierced the heart of the brawny leader with unparalleled precision. The Cloud Shinobi brawny leader lowered his hands, his eyes full of resentment and unwillingness, and he stared at Kyosuke stubbornly. Uchiha Kyosuke, we Cloud Shinobi will never let you go. After he finished speaking, he fell straight down, his eyes staring at the boss, and he was dead. For this, Kyosuke shrugged his shoulders, completely taking it seriously. Afterwards, he took out 2 shuriken from the ninja bag and threw one at the face of the sturdy leader of the team. 2 shuriken, in the middle of the eyes that couldn't rest. I'll give you another ride. No need to thank me, Kyosuke said indifferently. For the curse of the dying, Kyosuke never knew what it was to be afraid of. Otherwise, he would not be worthy of owning the system. Ding. System prompt. Congratulations to host. You successfully hunted down a Jonin and got 100 quest points. Another 100 mission points in the bag. Cool. On the side, Namikaze Minato witnessed the whole process of how Kyosuke robbed people and killed them. He is really speechless towards Kyosuke now. Kyosuke-kun's hobby. Still as special as ever. Perhaps I should find a chance to talk to Kyosuke-kun. Otherwise, if it goes on like this, Kyosuke-kun will be in danger. At this time, the kind-hearted Namikaze Minato thought to himself as he looked at Kyosuke in front of him. After the last person of Cloud Shinobi, the mission that Kyosuke and his party came out to carry out this time has come to a successful end. In this battle, Kyosuke and his party not only annihilated an invading team of Cloud Shinobi ninjas. Moreover, it also caught a live one, which has important value. The next step is to take the name Cloud Shinobi Chunin back, torture him, and dig out valuable information. Before going back, Kyosuke, Namikaze Minato, and the others had to deal with the battlefield here. While counting the bodies of Cloud Shinobi ninjas, someone noticed something was wrong. Kyosuke-sama, the number of people here doesn't match, and there is one less person. The numbers don't match? One person missing? When Kyosuke heard this, he couldn't help frowning. Are there any fish that slipped through the net? When Namikaze Minato heard this, he stepped forward and said, "You can take a look at it again. By the way, you should also count the survivors left behind, but don't forget about it." The Konoha shinobi, who found that the number of people did not match, replied very firmly, "Captain, you can't be wrong. I have already counted 5,510 times, and the number is still not right. 99, there are 15 corpses now, plus the survivor, there are 16 people in total, but Cloud Shinobi clearly had 17 people here before." At this time, Kyosuke stepped forward to confirm, and he counted carefully. Then, Kyosuke briefly recalled the previous scene. After a while he said, "Yes, there is indeed one person missing." Moreover, the missing person, Kyosuke also knew. It was the Cloud Shinobi ninja named Asda. I'm afraid, he just pretended to be dead and slipped away when the situation was mixed, without Kyosuke and the others not paying attention. Kyosuke blamed himself for being negligent. The 30 mission points just slipped away under his nose in vain. Some can't accept it. After getting the confirmation, Namikaze Minato had a slight worry on his face. In this case, the one missing must have escaped. "Captain, if we catch up now, maybe we can find the escaped Cloud Shinobi." Faced with this situation, someone suggested this. Hearing this, Namikaze Minato shook his head. It's useless. At this time he has already fled far away. I'm afraid he won't be able to catch up. Actually, Namikaze Minato has one more concern that he didn't mention. That is to fear that when they catch up, they will fall into the ambush of Cloud Shinobi. Chapter 165. Don't chase after the poor. In this regard, Namikaze Minato still knows. Moreover, it is hard to say whether it can catch up. If you catch up, the risk is very high, and some of the gains outweigh the losses. After weighing the pros and cons, Namikaze Minato immediately chose to stop and prepare to go back. A fish that slips through the net. No big deal. Kyosuke didn't care much about this. How much influence can the Cloud Shinobi ninja named Asada have on Konoha when he returns? It's just to bring back the news of their team's annihilation. By the way, there is the news that Kyosuke and Namikaze Minato have come to support, which was known to Cloud Shinobi in advance. This is a little bit of a loss. However, in general, the mission of Kyosuke and others this time has been successfully completed, and it is still very profitable. After Kyosuke and the others finished processing the scene, they returned with the captured Cloud Shinobi Chunin. In this mission, Kyosuke got more than 300 mission points. Kyosuke was full of emotion. Sure enough, this trip was not in vain. At the same time, Kyosuke's physical skills, Tempest Kick, proficiency has finally been improved, reaching the level of Grandmaster. Now, Kyosuke's system panel, Physiotherapy yyds system host, Uchiha Kyosuke abilities, 3-body technique, beginner, Konoha fluid technique, master, paper arts, Grandmaster, iron body, Grandmaster, Tempest Kick, Grandmaster, shaved, Grandmaster, water rock breaking fist, skilled, armament haki, proficient, observation haki, beginner, 8 inner gates, 5th gate, Gene Lock level 1, Wolf Fong Feng Finquan, proficient, Dance of the Sky, proficient, eternal buff, Soul of Taishu. Taishu's training income increases by 1000%. Mission points, 353 points. The current main quest, 3 battles to fame. Mission introduction. Host emerges in the 3 wars and becomes famous. Quest rewards, 10 quest points for every genin killed, 30 quest points for chunin, 100 quest points for jonin, and 500 quest points for kage level. At the end of the 3 battles, another reward will be given according to the degree of the host's famed daily tasks: 5,000 positive punches, 5,000 deep squats, and 50 kilograms to run 20 kilometers. Mission reward: 5 mission points. After this battle, Kyosuke gained a lot. Presumably, next, in this Cloud Shinobi battlefield, there are more opportunities waiting for him. Nagato, Kyosuke. You too. You didn't disappoint me. You did a great job. Konoha Base Camp, in the coach's tent. When Jiraiya heard Namake's Minato's report on the mission, she was very happy. At the same time, the depression in his heart that had been suppressed by Cloud Shinobi for many days finally dissipated a lot. It seems that it would have been more correct to transfer Minato and Kyosuke. These two people, on the first day they arrived, gave him a good start. Although, the small victory of this mission is nothing. However, this is Konoha's first victory since the match between Konoha and Cloud Shinobi. This undoubtedly gives Konoha Shinobi, whose morale is still quite low, a hope. Fight against Cloud Shinobi, and we Konoha can win too. The meaning of this, of course, is very important. Teacher, this time we captured a Cloud Shinobi prisoner alive. Maybe we can get useful information from him. Namake's Minato continued on to Jiraiya Road. Oh, hearing Namake's Minato say this, Jiraiya's eyes lit up. And about this? If a Cloud Shinobi prisoner is captured, then information about Cloud Shinobi will definitely be obtained. After the 2 previous defeats, if Konoha wanted to obtain information about Cloud Shinobi, it would undoubtedly be difficult and even more difficult. But with that Cloud Shinobi captive, maybe this is a good breakthrough. Minato, you are still thoughtful. Jiraiya looked at her lover and was very emotional. Teacher, in fact, Kyosuke has a lot of credit here. 35 Namake's Minato is very modest, not forgetting that the Cloud Shinobi captive was captured by Kyosuke. Jiraiya nodded with satisfaction. This time, you both did a good job, very good. 35 Kyosuke was completely indifferent to Jiraiya's praise. Again, everything in words is false, it is better to be realistic. But, at this time, Namake's Minato hesitated and said, in this mission, we were negligent and let a Cloud Shinobi escape. Apparently, Namake's Minato still remembered and regretted letting the Cloud Shinobi escape. In this regard, Jiraiya, on the other hand, has a similar attitude as Kyosuke before, and said indifferently, it's a small thing, don't take it too seriously, Minato. Besides, this will not have any effect on us. But Cloud Shinobi and the others have lost an entire team, and they can finally make them feel bad. Konoha won this time against Cloud Shinobi, and Jiraiya is in a good mood. When Jiraiya recalled the details of Minato's report on the mission just now, he suddenly had a flash of inspiration. An idea came into his mind involuntarily. Thinking of this, Jiraiya couldn't help frowning, thinking seriously. This method, if implemented, should. Maybe it works. Minato, Kyosuke. After pondering for a while, Jiraiya spoke to Kyosuke and Namake's Minato. Teacher, what's the matter? Namake's Minato asked. At this time, Kyosuke also looked at Jiraiya. He didn't know what else Jiraiya had to say. I have an idea, can you see if it works? After thinking for a moment, Jiraiya finally decided to say what he thought of just now. Whether it's useful or not, it's okay to say it first, and discuss it with Kyosuke and Minato. What if that method works? Teacher, what are your thoughts? Namake's Minato asked Jiraiya. In this regard, Kyosuke is also a little curious. Jiraiya, what way will he come up with? Are you planning to surprise Cloud Shinobi's big, Lee Diheo, base camp and surprise Cloud Shinobi? Or let it go and assassinate the leader of the other party? Still, at this point, Kyosuke already had several guesses in his mind. However, next, when Jiraiya said his idea, Kyosuke was a little surprised to hear. It was this. It seems that you are thinking more about yourself. Minato, Kyosuke, both of you are very good, and in terms of speed, I believe there are not many people who can match you. Jiraiya began to speak his mind slowly. Minato, needless to say, your flying thunder god technique is the envy of even my teacher. Namake's Minato was a little embarrassed to hear his teacher compliment him so much. Where, teacher, you have won the prize, I still have a lot of things to teach you. Jiraiya waved. Minato, you don't have to be so modest. I'm not as good as you in terms of speed. Chapter 166. What Jiraiya said is the truth. Namake's Minato's flying thunder god technique. If it is only in terms of speed, Jiraiya is really not as good. Then, Jiraiya looked at Kyosuke next to Namake's Minato. Kyosuke, I am somewhat familiar with your strength. Kyosuke was not surprised when Jiraiya said so. After all, Namake's Minato is a student of Jiraiya. If Jiraiya wants to know about Kyosuke's strength, Namake's Minato will definitely tell Jiraiya. Kyosuke, you are very strong. 35 for Kyosuke's strength. Jiraiya is sure. After all, Kyosuke had defeated one-tail Morizuru. That's a tailed beast. And, last night, he went to Minato specifically to learn about Kyosuke's specific situation. At that time, Namake's Minato told Jiraiya, Kyosuke's strength should have reached the level of elite jonin, and not weaker than him. If he and Kyosuke fight, it's hard to say who wins and who loses. Anyway, Minato is not sure he will win Kyosuke. At that time, Jiraiya was a little surprised when he heard that his student had such a high opinion of Uchiha Kyosuke. Even Minato himself doesn't think he can beat Kyosuke. So how strong is Kyosuke's strength? 513. Not only that, but from Minato, Jiraiya also learned about Kyosuke's speed, very fast. In this regard, Minato also sighed to Jiraiya. If I didn't rely on Flying Thunder God, I wouldn't be able to keep up with Kyosuke. Speed. Kyosuke's speed. That's what Jiraiya wants to say to Kyosuke next. Kyosuke, I know you're also fast when it comes to speed. Hearing Jiraiya's words, Kyosuke immediately had black lines all over his head. In terms of speed, am I fast? This? What kind of bullshit? Immediately, Kyosuke was not happy, and his face drooped instantly. Lord Jiraiya, what you said, I won't admit it. I stress, I'm not happy. I'm not happy. 9. Not only am I unhappy, but I'm also persistent, the kind that won't stop for over an hour. Hearing Kyosuke's rambling words, both Jiraiya and Namake's Minato were taken aback by Kyosuke. What's going on? Did you say it wrong? At this time, Jiraiya was really quite depressed and speechless. He didn't know where he was wrong just now. He obviously praised Kyosuke for his goodness, but why was he unhappy after hearing it? Also, what does Kyosuke mean when he says he's durable? Could it be that Kyosuke can maintain that super fast speed for a long time? Jiraiya, who couldn't figure it out, finally had to follow Kyosuke's words. I see, Kyosuke, you're very durable. Hearing what Jiraiya said, Kyosuke's unpleasantness subsided and he felt better. Kyosuke doesn't care whether Jiraiya and Namake's Minato understand him, whether they know or not. Anyway, to say that he is fast is no way. Cough cough. Jiraiya coughed twice and adjusted. Kyosuke, Minato, both of you have her advantage in terms of speed. Jiraiya puts it slightly differently. So, my idea was to put you together and make a special team. 35. Me and Kyosuke form a team? Hearing that Jiraiya's thoughts were this, Namake's Minato was a little puzzled. Teacher, it's not impossible for me to form a team with Kyosuke, but what's the effect of doing this? 35. Kyosuke didn't ask. He wanted to hear what Jiraiya did. Minato, listen to me first. Since Jiraiya will think of this method, he naturally has his plan. After the first 2 defeats, we now have no advantage over Cloud Shinobi in terms of strength or numbers. Speaking of which, Jiraiya, CHFB, also sighed helplessly. Now, the number of Konoha Shinobi followers is much lower than that of Cloud Shinobi. What's more deadly is that the ninja strength of Cloud Shinobi's side is much stronger than that of Konoha. At Cloud Shinobi, not to mention the super combination of Abi, there is also a two-tailed Jinchuriki. It's just, the number of Jonin in Cloud Shinobi far exceeds that of Konoha. At that time, if the two sides fight completely, then Konoha will definitely be at a very disadvantage. So, I want to combine the two of you into a squad. Having said this, Jiraiya couldn't help but aggravate his tone. At that time, when you are on the battlefield, you will be responsible for hunting Cloud Shinobi's Jonin. Besides, with your strength and speed, if you cooperate well, then this plan is absolutely feasible. Only by completely defeating the upper-level fighting forces of Cloud Shinobi can we achieve the final victory. Having said this, Jiraiya's mood is already a little excited. The war between the two countries, if there is no compromise with each other, then, in the end, it's all about winning. And who doesn't want to win in the end? Before the war between Konoha and Sunagakure, Konoha won. Hearing this news, he was naturally happy, but at the same time he was very envious. Today, Konoha and Cloud Shinobi Village go to war. Jiraiya naturally also hopes that, under his leadership, Konoha can win the final victory. If Konoha fails, then he will become the sinner of the village. Success, who doesn't want to have it? After Kyosuke heard this, he basically understood Jiraiya's true intentions. Although, Kyosuke feels that Jiraiya's idea is indeed a bit too idealistic. This is difficult to implement. However, it cannot be said that it cannot be implemented. On the contrary, this approach is worth a try. If it is successfully implemented, it can really deal a fatal blow to Cloud Shinobi. If Cloud Shinobi's Jonin, those high-level combat power, have been cut by half, then Cloud Shinobi's Jinin, Chunin, and those low-level combat power are naturally nothing to worry about. The remaining small fish and shrimps, what kind of wind and waves can stir up? After thinking of this, Kyosuke understood it thoroughly, and he said, Sir Jiraiya, although your idea is a little too idealistic, but it's still interesting. Okay, I agree with your plan. Kyosuke was very straightforward and immediately agreed. In fact, the reason why Kyosuke agreed so quickly is not to say how much he values the final victory. Of course, it does not mean how noble his character is. Among them, there are still Kyosuke's own ideas, selfish. Chapter 167. From Kyosuke's point of view, if he and Namikaze Minato form a small team and are responsible for hunting Jonin together, isn't that give yourself a good helper for harvesting mission points for free? The strength of Namikaze Minato, Kyosuke is naturally recognized. With his help, a lot of task points, wouldn't it be easy to capture dash? If you don't agree, then you are really stupid. Besides, it was Jonin who hunted. Hunting a Jonin is 100 quest points. Hunting a Jinin, Chunin, is only 10 quest points and 30 quest points. If you have time to hunt Jinin and Chunin, you might as well team up with Namikaze Minato to hunt Jonin. Doesn't it taste good? Now, Kyosuke can almost see there are a lot of quest points, and he is beckoning to himself. He is enthusiastically calling for him to come quickly. Jiraiya did not expect that Kyosuke would agree so quickly. However, this is a good thing. Kyosuke backed his idea, and Jiraiya he naturally couldn't ask for it. Jiraiya nodded at Kyosuke, then watched him at Namikaze Minato. Minato, how about you? My own teacher said so. Namikaze Minato naturally agreed. Besides, all this is for victory, for the village. Teacher, I agree too. Namikaze Minato agreed. $7. Both Kyosuke and Minato agreed to his plan, and Jiraiya said two good things in a row. Obviously, Jiraiya is a little excited. At this moment, Konoha's black fangs and the future's yellow flashes combine to form. Hunting time is on. The other side. The Cloud Shinobi Chunin who got away with it, Asda. At this point, he was rushing back to Cloud Shinobi in a panic. The scene of the tragic death of his companion, and the Black Fang one Uchiha Kyosuke, his bloody and cruel means. All this is vivid. All this stimulated his almost collapsed nerves. He has only one thought now. Go back. You must go back alive. Soup Country, Cloud Shinobi Base Camp. Unlike Konoha's low morale atmosphere, the Cloud Shinobi ninja here are very high morale. After defeating Konoha twice in a row, Cloud Shinobi has more confidence to win. In their opinion, the final victory in this war with Konoha can only be their Cloud Shinobi village. Take down Konoha, it is only a matter of time. Under such circumstances, in the Cloud Shinobi base camp, the military discipline was much lazier, and there was absolutely no vigilance in wartime. Even, in a place in the Cloud Shinobi base camp, a concert was held, and the scene was very lively. Checker. I've got energy left, charisma shines. 8 tails sand and killer bee is who I am. Yeah. The battle has begun. What a shame. Move forward powerfully. Forward. 35. Oh yeah. On a makeshift singing platform, there was a strong man with dark skin, light yellow hair, and black sunglasses. He wears 7 knives, with the word iron on his right shoulder and horn marks on his left cheek. At this time, he is fully devoted to rap. This scene looks very funny, but under the stage, there were quite a few Cloud Shinobi ninjas, holding barbecued meat and drinks, loudly echoing the revelry. Cloud Shinobi Base Camp, Coach Tent. In the tent, there was a young man with dark skin, light yellow hair, and a very strong build, who was sitting at the top. He has a green shuriken logo tattooed on his shoulders and wears a wide belt and heavy armor. AI, the future 4th Raikage of Cloud Shinobi Village. Also sitting on this battlefield, the head coach of Cloud Shinobi. At this time, he was holding a document in his hand. This document was sent to him by 3rd Raikage, his father. In the document, there is 3rd Raikage's appreciation for him, a detailed analysis of the situation here, and the way to deal with Konoha. There are also suggestions for him and warnings. After AIG read it quickly, he casually threw it on the table. Today's AI is young and vigorous. In addition to the previous 2 battles with Konoha, Cloud Shinobi won a big victory. Therefore, he is inevitably a little proud and complacent. For Third Raikage, his father, the advice and warnings he gave him in the document, AI he did not take it to heart at all. In his opinion, this old man is too long-winded. It's really long-winded. You just wait and watch, see how I completely defeat Konoha. AI threw the document on the table and muttered to himself indifferently. The current situation of Cloud Shinobi can be said to be very good. If it goes on like this, Yak doesn't think that there is any chance for Konoha to make a comeback. In this war with Konoha, Cloud Shinobi will definitely win. And at this moment, a Cloud Shinobi ninja walked in a hurry. Master AI, it's not good. AI looked at the Cloud Shinobi ninja at the door, who walked in a panic, and he couldn't help frowning. What happened? Looking at his panicked appearance, AI knew that something important must have happened. Master AI, the team we sent out to investigate Konoha is gone. The incoming Cloud Shinobi ninja quickly reported to Aihui. In fact, he hasn't finished yet. After all, there was only one Asda left in that team, so it wasn't all lost. It's all gone. Hearing this, AI couldn't help but widen his tiger's eyes. What exactly is going on? The team sent to investigate Konoha's situation had a total of 17 people. For Jonin alone, there are 3. Moreover, the leader of the team is named Elite Jonin. Such a powerful team. What if you say no? So directly, being wiped out by the entire army? AI can't believe it. During this mission, our team happened to be discovered by Konoha's people. Except for one team member who escaped by chance, the rest of the companions were all brutally killed by Konoha. 35 Having said this, the ninja had a look of resentment on his face. Obviously, for Konoha's people, they brutally killed their companions, which made him hate Konoha. Nanny? As soon as she heard that the person who killed them was actually Konoha, AI couldn't sit still. At this time, he stood up directly from his seat and slapped the table with a big hand. Bump! There was a loud bang, and the table in front of him shook. This surprised the Cloud Shinobi ninja who came to report. Konoha! AI gritted his teeth and said these 2 words. How dare you? It's just too deceiving. She? Chapter 168. AI really did not expect Konoha's counterattack. In his opinion, Konoha's situation was already very bad at this time. How could they dare to do this? Didn't Konoha think that this would completely anger them Cloud Shinobi? Aren't you afraid of their Cloud Shinobi and attack them directly? At this time, AI is violent like thunder. The Cloud Shinobi ninja below could only bow his head and said nothing, not daring to make a sound. After a while, AI Chung suppressed the anger in his heart and said, Didn't you say that one escaped back? Call that person to me. AI needs to understand this matter. He would like to see which people in Konoha dared to attack them Cloud Shinobi. The Cloud Shinobi ninja did not dare to delay in the slightest, and immediately said, Yes, I'll let him come here. After speaking, he walked quickly to the door. May 13th, however, before he could come out, he heard AI's order again, and, Where's that Killer Bee guy? Get him over here.
Yes.
9 After the Cloud Shinobi ninja responded, he quickly walked out the door. In the tent, at this time, the anger in AI's heart was still burning. Thinking of Konoha destroying their Cloud Shinobi team, AI was angry, but also felt a little heartache. Those Genins in that team, Chunin, died as soon as they died, and AI would not be heartbroken. It was the 3 Jonins that hurt him, especially the Elite Jonin. That's Elite Jonin. Every Elite Jonin, for the village, is rare. And in the village, to cultivate an Elite Jonin, it takes a lot of hard work and a price. This time, Cloud Shinobi directly lost 3 Jonin and 1 Elite Jonin. How can I not let AI's heart hurt? Konoha, great. AI's eyes flashed with anger. Next, I'm going to let you know what will happen to us Cloud Shinobi. 39 Killer Bee's concert was finally forced to stop. Brother, you called me here. What's the matter? Came to Killer Bee in the coach's tent and asked his elder brother Idao. When the concert was at its climax, it was forced to stop by someone, which was very uncomfortable for Killer Bee. What are you doing now? AI asked aloud. 7 Then, he didn't want to dwell too much on this issue, and said directly to Killer Bee, The team we sent out yesterday to investigate Konoha's situation was killed. Nanny? Killer Bee was stunned after hearing this, and in those eyes under the black sunglasses, some couldn't believe it. Brother, is it made of leaves? That's right. Speaking of this, AI's eyes flashed coldly. Damn Konoha. 35. B asterisk 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 D Konoha. 99. As soon as he heard that it was dried leaves, Eight Tails Jinchuriki Killer B immediately spit out a fragrance. In the end, he did not forget to use his rap tone to say a sentence. Damn, oh Konoha. AI, who was accustomed to Killer B's unusual tone, was not surprised by this. Brother, what do you do now? We have to give Konoha a tough lesson. Killer B, as always, turned on his rap and rap. Originally, this was a serious matter. However, from Killer B's mouth, it changed a bit. Don't worry for now, AI said. However, AI did not object to Killer B's proposal. This revenge, they will definitely avenge it. AI. In this mission, one person survived. So, we need to understand the specific circumstances of this matter first. Killer B. One survived? What a lucky guy. But eldest brother, do you think he ran away? A deserter on the battlefield is intolerable in every village. Lightly, suffer contempt and scolding from peers. Seriously, direct execution. The question that Killer B said, AI also had not considered it before. AI replied, I don't know yet, but he will explain it later. 55. He still doesn't know the details of this matter, so he can't make a rash judgment based on his subjective conjecture. After a while, Asda, who escaped by chance, was brought to AI and Killer B. Lord AI, Lord Killer B. Asda came to the front of Abby's combination and knelt directly on the ground. His head was firmly on the ground, as if he didn't dare to face AI and Killer B. In fact, Asda also knew that even if he escaped by chance, it did not mean that he was safe. If he is identified as a deserter, then the consequences, it must be terribly tragic. After all, when he pretended to be dead to recover a small life, it already represented that he gave up fighting side by side with his companions. If you are a deserter yourself, that is a sure thing. However, he finally recovered a small life from Kyosuke's killing god, and he didn't want to die. Now, he is the only one in the entire team who has survived. Then, he slightly modified and concealed what happened at that time. Who would know? So, on the way he was struggling to escape back, he had already thought of his words and came to absolve himself. Now, facing AI and Killer B, he's not nervous and guilty, that's fake. Asda, tell me everything that happened at that time. With a gloomy face, AI looked down at Asda, who was almost kneeling on the ground. If you dare to lie, you know the consequences. At this time, AI did not forget to hit him. Yes, yes, Master AI. Asda said hurriedly, trembling. Immediately afterwards, he raised his head slightly, with fear on his face. Yesterday, we went deep into the hinterland of Konoha Base Camp. I was worried that people from Konoha would find out, so I reminded Mr. Oi. Lord Oi thinks that I think too much. At that time, we were very close to Konoha's base camp. In order to obtain more Konoha situation, Captain Oi insisted on moving forward. When we stopped to rest and rectify, just as I was leaving the team, and when it was convenient for 5.1 in the distance, the Konoha group suddenly attacked and killed many of us. At that time, our team was caught off guard. Konoha led the team. It was Namake's Minato, who held down Captain Oi. Is it Namake's Minato? AI heard that Namake's Minato attacked them, and the suspicious look on his face dissipated a lot. Namake's Minato, this man, AI knows. Namake's Minato is one of Konoha Sannin, Jiraiya's student, and his strength is very strong. If Namake's Minato attack them, there is a real possibility that the Cloud Shinobi team will be wiped out. At the same time, AI raised some vigilance in his heart. Since Namake's Minato has come to support, then it will not be so easy to deal with Konoha in the future. Chapter 169. At this point, Atsuta continued. But who knows, among the people who Konoha dispatched this time, there are black fangs. Having said this, Asda's eyes suddenly widened, and a look of extreme fear appeared on his face. The image of Kyosuke's brutal and bloody slaughter of his companions reappeared in his mind. Black fangs? Hearing this, AI's brows furrowed even tighter. Namake's Minato came to support Konoha, and that's fine. What AI didn't expect was that the very mysterious Black Fangs of Konoha, who had been rumored in the ninja world recently, came here unexpectedly. Thinking of this, AI couldn't help but feel a little heavy. When Asda mentioned Kyosuke, his body couldn't help shaking violently, and even his words trembled. Black Fangs. Black Fangs, as soon as he appeared. He used extremely cruel means to chop, kill a lot of our comrades, well, it's so miserable. Woo. At the end, Asda actually lay on the ground and howled and cried. I don't know if it was the tragic death of my grief comrade, or I was scared by Kyosuke's bloody methods. 27. Uchiha Kyosuke. Hateful. AI's eyes were wide open and he gritted his teeth. At the same time, he secretly made up his mind that if he encounters that Uchiha Kyosuke in the future, he will definitely kill him. Uchiha Kyosuke? Killer Bee on the side heard it, and he was stunned. Is this the man who killed them? But why hasn't he heard of it? As for that Namikaze Minato, Killer Bee knows. Brother, who is this person? Killer Bee asked curiously. Konoha is not a simple boy. With anger in her heart, AI casually said to Killer Bee, 4699, is it the same as saying no? Then, AI added, Sunagakure's One-Tail Jinchuriki, that kid killed it. Is that the guy who killed One-Tail? Killer Bee fell silent. Some time ago, Konoha defeated Sand Shinobi and killed Sunagakure's One-Tail Jinchuriki. Although Killer Bee is keen to hold a concert, he is aware of this big news. Unexpectedly, Uchiha Kyosuke, who killed One-Tail Morizuru, has come here. And as soon as they got here, they gave Cloud Shinobi a slap in the face. At this time, Eight Tails, Gyuki, in Killer Bee's body, its huge body, also appeared in Killer Bee's body. Gyuki, a giant bull with an octopus tentacle tail, has a horn on the right side of its head. Originally, it had 2 horns on its head, but the 4th Reikage candidate, AI, cut off the left horn. Bye, you have to be careful. Eight Tails coiled in Killer Bee's body, said to Killer Bee with a dignified expression. It's not a simple role to be able to kill that guy Shoha. Eight Tails reminded Killer Bee. The 9-tailed beasts are familiar with each other. Although One-Tail Shoha has only 1 tail, it does not mean that it is weak. The more tails, the stronger the strength. This view, Eight Tails does not agree with. Although Eight Tails knows that its strength is indeed much stronger than One Tail. If the two of them fight, it can indeed defeat that guy Shikaku. 18. Defeating Shoha is by no means easy. Killer Bee nodded in response to Eight Tails' reminder, indicating that he had paid attention. As for whether he really paid attention, only he himself knew. Whoa. Asda was on the ground, crying sadly. AI, who was already irritable, could not help but feel even worse when she heard the cry. Followed by, AI shouted directly to Asda. Why are you crying so loud? With this drink, Asda's crying stopped abruptly, her expression extremely nervous. He pretended to be dead and ran away, and it was not easy to get a small life back. Now he can't offend the future 4th Reikage in front of him. However, what AI did next made Asda relieved. AI waved his hand and asked Asda to step back. Seeing this, Asda hurriedly bowed her head and quickly exited. Big brother, that Uchiha Kyosuke, we must not let him go. 5 Killer Bee spoke. Kyosuke killed their people, and there must be a price to pay for it. AI nodded, and a cold light flashed in his eyes. Don't worry, it will. Bye. The order goes on. Start now. Increase the attack on Konoha. 35, On the front lines of Konoha and Cloud Shinobi, a small war is raging. At this time, Konoha Shinobi wearing a Uzumaki-shaped forehead protector and Cloud Shinobi wearing a cloud-shaped forehead protector are fighting desperately. Call out. Namikaze Minato directly shot the kunai engraved with the Flying Thunder God spell at a Cloud Shinobi Jonin. Cloud Shinobi Jonin tensed his nerves, his body sideways, and quickly avoided the past. However, Namikaze Minato's attack is more than that. Rasengan. 35 Namikaze Minato's voice suddenly came from behind Cloud Shinobi Jonin. After hearing this, Cloud Shinobi Jonin's expression changed involuntarily. Obviously, Namikaze Minato's sudden and strange attack startled him. However, he is also an elite Jonin, and his strength should not be underestimated. In response to Namikaze Minato's attack from behind, he reacted extremely quickly, turned around extremely quickly, slashed with a knife, and hit the Rasengan in Namikaze Minato's hand. Zizizi. Ninja and Rasengan collided with each other, and a harsh and uncomfortable sound sounded. Seeing that Cloud Shinobi Jonin responded so quickly, Namikaze Minato couldn't help but exclaimed 513. The name Cloud Shinobi Jonin is very strong, and his swordsmanship is very powerful. But, it's a pity. At this time, facing Namikaze Minato's name Cloud Shinobi Jonin, he noticed the pity in Namikaze Minato's eyes, and couldn't help but be taken aback. What does it mean? Before he could react, An incomparably fierce attack rushed down from above his head. Armed, Liashuyan's shattering fist. The unparalleled attack was like a waterfall of 10,000 feet that was swiftly descending, falling down turbulently. In the air, there seemed to be countless blue torrents entwined. Not good. This Cloud Shinobi Jonin was horrified and his face changed dramatically. There's even a helping hand. Mean. The current situation is a desperate situation for him. Had he avoided the sharp attack above his head, he would have been hit by Namikaze Minato's Rasengan. And choose hard resistance. Now that he is already incapacitated, how can he resist it? For a time, the name Cloud Shinobi Jonin was extremely anxious, not knowing what to do. However, Kyosuke won't show any mercy. While this Cloud Shinobi Jonin was extremely anxious and overwhelmed, his attack had already fallen. Puff. The flowing water rock's smashing fist, like a waterfall falling down from 1,000 feet, directly penetrated Cloud Shinobi Jonin's head. For example, the bullet sniper rifle directly exploded the watermelon. Countless red and white objects splattered out in an instant. Chapter 170. Ding. System prompt. Congratulations to the host for hunting down a Jonin and getting 100 quest points. In my mind, the system prompt sounded. However, Kyosuke doesn't care about that now. He has to retreat quickly. Before a headshot, Kyosuke retreated quickly with experience. And Namikaze Minato, who was facing the Cloud Shinobi Jonin, was a bit miserable. Countless red and white things were rushing towards him. Although, he reacted quickly, when those red and white things shot at him, a flying thunder god technique immediately fled the scene. But, unfortunately, the distance was too close, and something splashed on Namikaze Minato's body. Miss Minato, are you alright? Kyosuke, who had already fled the scene, looked at Namikaze Minato with concern on his face. Seeing Namikaze Minato's current state, Kyosuke felt a little guilty. I saw a few drops of blood on Minato's sunny white face. The vest on his body was stained with a lot of blood. If you look closely, you can also see some red and white fabrics. Poor Minato teacher. Kyosuke felt a little embarrassed. He swore that he never did it on purpose. At this point, Namikaze Minato was silent. To Kyosuke's concerned greeting, he remained silent. The more Namikaze Minato was like this, the more guilt Kyosuke felt. Sorry about that. Since Kyosuke and Namikaze Minato formed a team to hunt Cloud Shinobi Jonin, the cooperation between the two can be said to be very tacit. Namikaze Minato actively attracts firepower and entangles the enemy head-on. Kyosuke, on the other hand, is lurking in the dark. When the enemy neglected to guard against, Kyosuke killed the enemy in an instant with lightning speed. Kyosuke. After a moment of silence, Namikaze Minato spoke up. Kyosuke. Huh? Minato-sensei? Namikaze Minato glanced at Kyosuke, expressionless. Immediately, he took a deep breath. No more chanced. Kyosuke, Kyosuke is embarrassed. He seems to p*** off Namikaze Minato. This Konoha little son is angry. Ahaha. Kyosuke smiled and eased the awkward scene a little. I'm really sorry, Minato-sensei. I'll definitely pay attention next time. Don't worry, I won't push too hard. 5 and next time. Namikaze Minato has a black line on his face when he hears it. Before, the name Cloud Shinobi Jonin was one of the toughest among all the Cloud Shinobi ninjas here. However, he has already been dealt with, so the remaining Cloud Shinobi ninjas will be easier to deal with. Soon, with the cooperation of Kyosuke and Namikaze Minato, the battle was over. As Kyosuke breathed a sigh of relief after finishing the last Cloud Shinobi ninja. The plan of Kyosuke and Namikaze Minato, teaming up to hunt down Cloud Shinobi Jonin, proved to be very useful. In just 2 days, more than a dozen Cloud Shinobi Jonin died at the hands of Kyosuke and Namikaze Minato. Kyosuke also harvested the mission points happily in these 2 days. Now his mission points have almost accumulated to 1,000. The lottery will be available soon, which is very nice. Around him, the Konoha Shinobi players who followed Kyosuke looked at Kyosuke and Namikaze Minato with fanatical admiration in their eyes. Over the past 2 days, led by Kyosuke and Namikaze Minato, they have witnessed how vulnerable Cloud Shinobi really is. When they met Cloud Shinobi, they no longer had to run away to avoid giving way, but could take the initiative to attack. In the past 2 days, they have experienced several fights, and without exception, they have all won. Moreover, the winning is still so neat and tidy. The suffocation of being pressed and beaten by Cloud Shinobi before is swept away. Konoha's morale, led by Kyosuke and Namikaze Minato, gradually recovered. Pack up and prepare to go back. Namake's Minato told a group of Konoha shinobi. Yes, team leader Minato. The night gradually fell, and the sky was full of stars. Kyosuke and his party finally returned to Konoha base camp. After the team disbanded, Kyosuke and Namake's Minato were still the same, and they had to go to Jiraiya to report on the situation of the mission. Minato, Kyosuke, you guys are back. When Kyosuke and the others came to the coach's tent, Jiraiya smiled at them. Namake's Minato, teacher, we are back. 35, how's it going? Did this mission go well? Jiraiya looked at Kyosuke and asked. Namake's Minato smiled and nodded. Fortunately, the mission was successfully completed. Good. Jiraiya is very satisfied. Next, Namake's Minato reported the details of the mission to Jiraiya as usual. Teacher, in this mission, we dealt with 38 Cloud Shinobi, 7 of whom were Jonin, Chunin. Jiraiya kept nodding while listening to Namake's Minato's report. Sure enough, he was quite reliable as a student and did not disappoint him. Of course, Kyosuke did a great job as well. Very well, Minato, Kyosuke, you two are doing well. 39 Kyosuke. Just say very good. Jiraiya, can't you change your words of praise? Teacher, your plan, Kyosuke and I implemented it. The effect is really good. Namake's Minato mentioned this with some emotion. In the past 2 days, with the perfect cooperation of Kyosuke, Konoha faced Cloud Shinobi very easily. Against Cloud Shinobi, they quickly took down quite a few Cloud Shinobi without much effort. The result is completely one-sided. And, these 2 days, as Kyosuke and Namake's Minato joined the Cloud Shinobi battlefield, they resisted Cloud Shinobi's offensive. Konoha's unfavorable situation in this Cloud Shinobi battlefield gradually reversed. The battle situation, for Konoha, is no longer so bad. Jiraiya. Well, Lee Diheo, very good. It seems that the cooperation between you is very good. This is true. Although it was the first time for Kyosuke and Namake's Minato to form a team, the tacit understanding between the two was surprisingly good. This is also the main reason why they have completed the task with high efficiency in the past 2 days. And it is with Kyosuke and Namake's Minato that Jiraiya's pressure is greatly reduced. Now, even if it is a full-scale battle with Cloud Shinobi, Jiraiya has a certain degree of certainty. Unlike before Kyosuke and Namake's Minato didn't come, they were completely beaten by Cloud Shinobi and didn't have the slightest temper. Hehe, Kyosuke and I work together really well. Namake's Minato laughed when he heard it. It's just, Kyosuke can change that habit. It will be even better. Apparently, Kyosuke still kept in mind the fact that he shot Cloud Shinobi in front of Namake's Minato before. And there are some shadows. Chapter 171. Kyosuke, on the other hand, looked outside, deliberately not understanding what Namake's Minato meant. Kyosuke's habit? Jiraiya was a little curious and looked at Kyosuke and Namake's Minato. It's okay, teacher. I just think it's necessary to improve the tacit understanding with Kyosuke. Namake's Minato wrote. Jiraiya nodded and didn't care much. But, at this time, Jiraiya's words changed. There was a slight hesitation on his face, hesitating whether to speak. What's the matter, teacher? Seeing his teacher's hesitant appearance, Namake's Minato asked. Well, sooner or later you will have to know. In the end, Jiraiya decided that it would be better to talk about it. There is news from the spies on the front line that there is a massive mobilization of manpower at Cloud Shinobi. Cloud Shinobi massive action? Hearing this, Kyosuke also put away his laziness, and his eyes couldn't help but meet Namake's Minato next to him. The eyes of the two of them were both solemn and slightly worried. Cloud Shinobi wants to go all out? If this is the case, this is not a good thing for Konoha. Although, in the past few days, due to the intervention of Kyosuke and Namake's Minato, Konoha fought a few turnarounds, and the situation began to turn for the better. However, if Cloud Shinobi is going to start a full-scale war, they attack. Konoha's chances of winning are less than 2 or 3%. After all, Konoha really lost the 2 battles with Cloud Shinobi before. The loss is also huge. However, what Jiraiya said next made Kyosuke and Namake's Minato, who were nervous and worried, breathed a sigh of relief. We have faced Cloud Shinobi several times in the past few days. Without exception, Cloud Shinobi was almost completely wiped out, and the losses were a bit big. I guess. At Cloud Shinobi, Third Raikage Sun, AI, and Eight Tails Jinchuriki can't hold back a little and want to do it themselves, Jiraiya said. After all, the killing force of the Cloud Shinobi Jonin team formed by Kyosuke and Namake's Minato these days is really too lethal. In just 2 days, the two of them hunted down more than a dozen Cloud Shinobi Jonin. You know, Jonin is the main fighting force of every ninja village. As for Chunin and Jinin, both Kyosuke can't remember how much they hunted. Next, Jiraiya looked at Kyosuke and Namikaze water, CHFB, gate and reminded. The combination of AI and Killer Bee, they are so powerful, you must be familiar with them. AI and Killer Bee are both close to Kaga level in strength. If the two of them join forces, they will face the last Kaga level powerhouse without any problem. When you act these days, it is very likely that you will encounter them, so you too must be careful. Jiraiya reminded seriously. A serious look also appeared on Namikaze Minato's face. Don't worry, teacher, we will. Kyosuke also nodded. Indeed, AI and Killer Bee are very strong and should not be underestimated. Before, Kyosuke and Namikaze Minato were worried that Cloud Shinobi would attack without giving Konoha a chance to catch his breath. However, fortunately not. Otherwise, Konoha is really hard to fight with Cloud Shinobi. Of course, this is not to say that the current Konoha is afraid of Cloud Shinobi. Although, Konoha's chances of winning a full battle against Cloud Shinobi are slim. However, if Cloud Shinobi wants to win against Konoha, he will have to pay a heavy price. Kill 1,000 enemies and lose 800. Such an ending, Cloud Shinobi would not accept it either. Since this gave Konoha some time to breathe and cultivate. After another period of time, Konoha was able to recover somewhat. At that time, when we had the final battle with Cloud Shinobi, it's hard to say who wins and who loses. Namikaze Minato has already reported everything that needs to be reported, and Jiraiya has explained everything to Kyosuke. After that, Kyosuke left the coaching tent. Once outside, Kyosuke greeted Namikaze Minato and went back. Looking up and looking at the stars in the sky, Kyosuke couldn't help squinting. Next, it is very likely that he will meet and fight with the Abbey group. What will happen then? Really looking forward to it. Kyosuke suddenly remembered. By the way, the daily tasks of the system have not been completed yet. 5. Then let's take a night tour of 20 kilometers with a load of 50 kilograms. Let's go. The other side. Soup Country, Cloud Shinobi Base Camp. The burning torch lit up the entire coach's tent. The firelight fell on Third Raikage's son, AI, on his face. However, at this time, AI's face was very bad and gloomy. Big brother, the team we sent out before was killed by Konoha again. Killer Bee, who was wearing black sunglasses, said. Now, Killer Bee's face is serious, and he doesn't have the look of jumping out before. Well, I already know, Aishin said. As the military commander in charge of the Cloud Shinobi battlefield, AI is naturally very clear about what happened to Cloud Shinobi. Just now, their spies came back with news that the team they dispatched had all been silenced by Konoha. The last few days, their Cloud Shinobi is not doing very well. Suffice to say, kinda bad. A few days ago, Kyosuke and Namikaze Minato suddenly appeared on the Cloud Shinobi battlefield, killing their Cloud Shinobi team. Afterwards, AI decided to increase his manpower to attack Konoha. However, the result was not as good as he expected. Even, it sucks. In the past 2 days, Cloud Shinobi has dispatched 3 action teams consisting of more than 30 people, ready to attack and kill Konoha. However, these 3 teams, without exception, were all destroyed. Yes, it's all gone. No one survives. Thinking of this, AI felt a little blood in his heart. That's a whole 3 teams. There are 3 teams, and each team has more than 30 people. Altogether, there are more than 100 ninjas. In just 2 days, Cloud Shinobi lost about 100 people. For Cloud Shinobi, the loss is not small. What's more, it doesn't include the team that was almost wiped out by Kyosuke and Minato at the earliest time, and only one person escaped. Big brother, from the scene at the time, it was Uchiha Kyosuke and Namikaze Minato who killed our teams. 35 Killer Bee touched the frame of the sunglasses with his middle finger and said to his elder brother. Kyosuke and Namikaze Minato are both responsible for this, and Cloud Shinobi is well-founded. Kyosuke's violent aesthetics of hunting, plus Namikaze Minato's unique Flying Thunder God technique. Chapter 172. These are really easy to judge. It was Kyosuke and Namikaze Minato who killed all 3 of their teams. At Namikaze Minato and Uchiha Kyosuke, AI clenched his fists tightly, his muscles clenched, blue veins appeared, and he gritted his teeth. In the past few days, Cloud Shinobi has lost one after another, which makes AI, who is arrogant, unacceptable. Before, they had no temper at all to suppress Konoha. Take down Konoha, it's just a matter of time. However, since Uchiha Kyosuke and Namikaze Minato suddenly appeared a few days ago, the The team sent by Cloud Shinobi has been killed by Konoha one after another. Also, almost all of them Cloud Shinobi were killed by the regiment. The situation of Konoha's defeat was slowly reversed. For such a result, AI is unacceptable and absolutely not allowed. We can't continue like this. A bit of solemnity flashed in AI's eyes. Although Cloud Shinobi suffered setbacks one after another, making him angry. However, as the military coach, AI knew that in this situation, he had to be calm. AI, if Uchiha Kyosuke and Namikaze Minato are left alone, we will be very passive. 35 also, now Konoha and the others. What are they planning? Don't think I don't know. AI narrowed his eyes, and a cold light flashed past. What are they up to? Killer Bee looked at his eldest brother, his sturdy body, and the expression on his face when he asked at this time was a little dumbfounded. Although, Killer Bee is very good at rap, and there are thick and thin, thin and thick. However, he still couldn't think of such a brain-consuming task for a while. At this time, AI was expressionless. Konoha's plan is nothing more than wanting to use this to slowly consume our strength. I have to say that AI, as the son of the third Raikage and the future fourth Raikage, is quite insightful. Kyosuke's purpose of hunting Cloud Shinobi Jonin actually made him guess right. However, guessing is one thing, how to stop it is the key. So it is. At this time, Killer Bee suddenly realized, "Brother, what shall we do next?" AI's face sinks like water. It's very simple, organize them. Now, the only people who can stop Uchiha Kyosuke and Namikaze Minato are the two of us. Having said that, AI turned to Killer Bee. It's time for us to do it. Before, I was careless and despised Uchiha Kyosuke and Namikaze Minato. But AI's face has cold killing intent. I want to see how good they are. 35 Killer Bee nodded in agreement. Okay, listen to Big Brother. The next day, Cloud Shinobi Base Camp. Early in the morning, AI gathered a lot of Cloud Shinobi ninjas. At this time, AI was standing on a high platform with Killer Bee following him. In front of AI, a large number of ninjas gathered. The scene was solemn and silent. AI looked down at the crowd of ninjas below. His voice was rough and calm, and he said loudly, "This time, our purpose is only one, to defeat Konoha. 99, we beat Konoha hard the first 2 times. This time, it's no exception. Victory can only belong to us Cloud Shinobi." When AI said this, he was impassioned, mobilized the morale of the Cloud Shinobi ninja below, and shouted loudly one by one, "Destroy Konoha! Beat the Konoha! Beat Konoha! Destroy Konoha!" The voice below is very high, which is what AI is willing to see. After a long time, AI Fong raised his hand and pressed it down, signaling to stop. But AI Hua turned around, and then pointed his big finger in the direction of Konoha Base Camp. Konoha has no sense of defeat at all. 2 days ago, Konoha attacked us shamelessly and killed many of our brothers and friends. 99, we must avenge such a shameful revenge. We must make Konoha pay a heavy price and let them know that we, Cloud Shinobi, are not something they can easily bully. At this time, AI scratched his neck, his blue veins burst out and roared, "Follow me to kill Konoha and avenge the dead companion." The group of ninjas below, how could they endure their comrades? Their brothers were killed by Konoha in a sneak attack. Immediately, one by one was filled with righteous indignation, filled with anger, and roared angrily, "Kill Konoha! Vengeance, Snow Hate! Avenge your dead comrade! Destroy Konoha! Seeking flowers, break Konoha!" Cloud Shinobi's morale was thoroughly mobilized by AI. It must be said that AI, the son of Third Raikage, has a high prestige in Cloud Shinobi Village, and his popularity is second only to Third Raikage. On the one hand, this has to do with AI's identity, and more, it is AI's rough and heroic, affectionate and righteous character, and his distinctive personality charm, which is highly respected by people in the Kingdom of Thunder. Soon, under the leadership of AI and Killer Bee, a large number of ninjas followed behind them, heading for the front line with great momentum. Cloud Shinobi Battlefield, front line. Any news from Cloud Shinobi? 39 in the Konoha tent, Namikaze Minato asked to Jonin. Last night, Jiraiya reminded Namikaze Minato and Kyosuke that Cloud Shinobi has a big move, and there is a good chance they will come in a big attack. This has to attract the attention of Namikaze Minato. And Kyosuke and Namikaze Minato also changed their previous style, no longer hunted Cloud Shinobi, and came to the front line early to garrison. At the same time, just in case, also increased the strength of the front line. Leader of Minato, we have not received any information about Cloud Shinobi, Jonin Hui reported. When Namake's Minato heard this, he couldn't help frowning. Didn't hear about Cloud Shinobi? Did they think too much? Cloud Shinobi mobilized a large number of troops, not to attack Konoha, but to have other plans? This shouldn't be. But if Cloud Shinobi mobilized a large number of troops to attack Konoha, the scale would definitely not be small, and it would definitely be discovered by Konoha spies. For a while, Namake's Minato became a little unpredictable. However, Minato always felt that something was wrong. The feeling he had was an indescribable hunch, as if something big would happen soon. Miss Minato, you are too nervous. In the tent, Kyosuke sat on the other side, reminding Namake's of Minato Road. Compared to Namake's, Minato's nervous look like an enemy. Kyosuke at this time was a little more relaxed. He was sitting on the chair with his back leaning, with Erlang's legs crossed, a green apple in one hand and Kunwar in the other, carefully peeling the apple. Under the sharp bitterness, the apple peel gradually unwrapped its outer, covering helplessly and aggrieved, revealing the flesh of the red fruit. Chapter 173. Kyosuke slashed round and round, and the apple peels were already hanging on the ground. However, the green apple still tried her best to keep it, and she had already undressed most of it. Namake's Minato looked at Kyosuke, who was slowly peeling an apple, and smiled bitterly. Kyosuke-kun, are you still in the mood to eat apples at this time? Although, Konoha's spies have not found any trace of Cloud Shinobi yet. However, Namake's Minato is convinced that Cloud Shinobi will definitely attack. He trusted his instincts. Why don't you want to eat? Kyosuke glanced at Namake's Minato, then put his eyes back on the green apple in his hand. The two concave parts of the green apple, as well as some skins, are difficult to handle and need to be carefully peeled off by Kyosuke. Besides, Kyosuke also wanted to take off her coat completely. Don't ask why, just ask. Minato, May 17th teacher. You are too small. Kyosuke lowered his head and handled the apple peel carefully. Namake's Minato was a little stunned. 66.99? Are you downsized? Is it because I don't want to eat apples? Well, now I don't have the mood and appetite to eat, but does this have anything to do with the layout? Kyosuke ignored Namake's Minato, who was a little confused, and continued. Apple itself has high nutritional value. It has lipid-lowering effects and improves blood lipid levels. It can also relieve diarrhea, detoxify, and skin and nourish muscles. Having said this, Kyosuke paused slightly. Namake's Minato? That's it? What's the meaning? Regardless of whether apple has these effects, Kyosuke's words and deeds alone make Namake's Minato wonder. Kyosuke, Kurin, he's just paddling. Totally full of gibberish. Then, Kyosuke continued. Of course, although these are the effects of apples, they are all very good, but what I like is still hers. Having said that, Kyosuke looked up at Namake's Minato. Lower pressure. 9. Hearing Kyosuke's words, Namake's Minato was stunned. Does apple have anti-hypertensive effect? How could he never know? Well, he didn't know much about it either. Miss Minato, you're in a tense state right now, and that's not good. Kyosuke sighed and shook his head. You are already nervous, Mr. Minato, before Cloud Shinobi appears. Is this useful? Useless. Whether or not Cloud Shinobi will attack, we just need to sit quietly and wait for them to come. Besides, all the preparations we should do are already prepared. Do we still need to be nervous? Unnecessary. Now, all we can do is sit down calmly, eat an apple, and lower the pressure. After some words, the green apple in Kyosuke's hand has also been peeled. The whole apple is snow white, full of moisture, and a bit crystal clear. At first glance, it seems to be mouth-watering, and I can't help but want to take a bite. Namake's Minato was a little confused by Kyosuke's tirade. Kyosuke's words made him stunned for a moment. I just talked about eating apples. As a result, as soon as the words turned, he said that his layout was small. Speaking of apples, said that apple is resistant to pressure. Speaking of Cloud Shinobi again, in the end, it's still about eating apples. Namake's Minato thought he was a little confused. Is this really Apple's problem? Or an issue with Cloud Shinobi? Or his problem? B. Namake's Minato thought about what Kyosuke had just said, and vaguely felt that what Kyosuke said was right. But after thinking about it a little more, he realized that what Kyosuke said was wrong. So, Namake's Minato just stood there in a daze. Ah clap. Kyosuke bit into the snow-white apple flesh in one bite, and the mouth was slightly sour. However, immediately afterward, the mellow sweetness counterattacked. Sure enough, plump and juicy. Good. Minato-sensei, do you want one too? After Kyosuke finished speaking, he took out an apple directly from Kabuto and threw it at Namake's Minato, who was dazed over there. Just when the apple was about to hit him, Namake's Minato reacted embarrassingly. Suddenly, he caught it in a hurry. Holding an apple in his hand, Namake's Minato smiled wryly as he looked at Kyosuke, who was eating with relish. Namake's Minato's mood eased a little after this slapstick. He thought about it and felt that he was a little too nervous. Now, what they should prepare, what should be arranged, is ready to be arranged. It's all set, just waiting for Cloud Shinobi to come. If Cloud Shinobi and the others dare to attack, Konoha is not afraid of them. After thinking about it, Namake's Minato saw that Kyosuke was eating apples with relish and made a clear and seductive sound from time to time. Involuntarily, he also picked up the apple in his hand and took a bite. Immediately afterwards, Minato's face changed suddenly, and his whole body trembled as he frowned. Why is this apple so sour? Kyosuke couldn't help laughing when he saw Namake's Minato like that. It seems that Mr. Minato can't eat sour. Miss Minato, have you been out for so long? Have you missed your girlfriend? It's okay to be idle anyway. Kyosuke is munching on apples and chatting with Namake's Minato while looking for topics. When Kyosuke said this, he couldn't help but think of the woman with the conspicuous red hair. Red Pepper, Kushina. Now, Namake's Minato and Kushina have officially confirmed their relationship, which is public news. Hearing Kyosuke mentioning Kushina, Namake's Minato's sourly frowning face softened. Even the sour green apple in the mouth suddenly became sweeter at this moment. Kushina, Namake's Minato said his girlfriend's name softly with a gentle look on his face. After coming out for so long, he said he didn't want his girlfriend Kushina, which is false. What's more, they are still in love with 5.1. Seeing Namake's Minato's gentle expression on his face, Kyosuke couldn't help but smile. The answer is already very obvious. Minato-sensei, when are you and Kushina going to get married? After Kyosuke finished speaking, he took another big bite of the apple. Sweet and mellow, really plump and juicy. Hearing Kyosuke ask this, Namake's Minato was a little embarrassed. I don't think now is the time for us to discuss this. Although, Namake's Minato knows that Kyosuke has a mentality that is not suitable for his age, and he cannot look at Kyosuke from the perspective of an adult. However, when I discussed this with Kyosuke, I felt a little awkward. Kyosuke looked indifferent. Isn't it okay now? It's okay to talk about it. Chapter 174. Then, Kyosuke said with a smile, besides, Minato-sensei, I'm still waiting to eat your candy. Namake's Minato was a little helpless. He smiled and said, if we get married, we all think it's too early. After the war, let's make plans. 5 Kyosuke. Oh then, Minato-sensei, you must invite me. Namake's Minato laughed. Yes, Kyosuke. 66, 99 66, 99 Kyosuke and Namake's Minato, chatting with each other. At this time, suddenly, there were hurried footsteps outside. After a while, a ninja rushed into the tent panting. Kyosuke-sama, Minato leader. It's not good. Enemy attack. Enemy attack. Son of Third Raikage and Killer Bee, led a large army to attack. The ninja, gasping for breath, finished speaking in one breath. There was a slight dread on his face as he spoke of the son of Third Raikage and Killer Bee. You must know that Konoha's first 2 defeats came from AI and Killer Bee. This time, AI and Killer Bee personally led their troops to attack. So is there any hope for them Konoha to win? Although these days, under the leadership of Kyosuke and Namake's Minato 27, Konoha has also won a few small wins. However, Konoha, who has been cast out of the shadows, is still afraid of Cloud Shinobi in his heart. Perhaps, Konoha's shadow on Cloud Shinobi needs a victory in a war to completely wash away. After hearing the news, Namake's Minato looked solemn. The apple in his hand, which he had nibbled at, was placed on the table. And at this time, Kyosuke also put down Erlang's legs, which were cocked up leisurely. Sure enough, Cloud Shinobi attacked. The son of Third Raikage, 8 Tails Jinchuriki, are all here, Namake's Minato muttered. In today's Cloud Shinobi battlefield, AI and Killer Bee's reputation can be said to be very loud. In the middle of the day, AI, the son of Third Raikage, is strong and powerful, and is the best candidate for the future 4th Raikage of Cloud Shinobi Village. 8 Tails Jinchuriki Killer Bee, not only powerful, but also said to be the only Jinchuriki who can perfectly control the power of 8 tails. What's more, the cooperation between the two of them is extremely tacit. With the cooperation of the two, their strength can completely suppress a Kaga-level powerhouse. When the time comes, I and Kayasukun will meet their words. A look of worry flashed across Namake's Minato's face. Cloud Shinobi's offensive is too fierce, and now, it is difficult for us to stop them. Came to report that the ninja gritted his teeth and said to Kayasuke, also ask Kayasuke-sama and Minato to lead the team and go to support quickly, otherwise, we really can't resist. Jiraiya sits in Konoha base camp, unless it is necessary, and in a crisis situation, it is impossible for him to leave easily. So, now only Kayasuke and Namake's Minato are able to stop AI and Killer Bee. Hearing the ninja's words, Namake's Minato nodded. Don't worry, we'll be there right away, you go down first. 35. After the Konoha shinobi had withdrawn, Namake's Minato looked at Kayasuke. Kayasuke-kun, Cloud Shinobi sighed. AI, Killer Bee, are you two brothers finally here? 35. Kayasuke stood up, with vigorous fighting intent in his eyes. Exactly. Let me see if you are really as powerful as the rumors. Seeing Kayasuke like this, Namake's Minato immediately fell silent. Kayasuke-kun, you are still the same. Minato-sensei, don't be stunned. Let's go together. Seeing that Namake's Minato was silent, Kayasuke urged. Cloud Shinobi's two brothers are very difficult to deal with, and our frontline companions are waiting for us to support them. Namake's Minato, frontline, battlefield. AI and Killer Bee's strengths are close to Kaga level, plus they have a very tacit understanding. On the battlefield, the two of them are like raptors entering the sea, unstoppable, invincible, and invincible. In the presence of Konoha, no one could resist their fierce and incomparable offensive. In desperation, Konoha could only rely on crowd tactics and dispatched a dozen jonin, elite jonin, to contain him. Hold on to. Stop. We have sent someone to inform Lord Kayasuke that Minato is the leader of the team. I believe the two of you will be here soon. Hold on. 35. A dozen Konoha shinobi, facing AI and Killer Bee, had no choice but to hold them back. But, even so, it can only hold them back for a while. Really, AI and Killer Bee, these two brothers are too pervert. Under the strong alliance of their two brothers, these jonin of Konoha, elite jonin, are not their opponents at all. Big brother, Konoha is simply vulnerable, not our opponent at all. Killer Bee next to AI looked at the Konoha shinobi in front of him. After that, Killer Bee added, they are too weak. Although Killer Bee stated the truth, the contempt in his words was obvious. As for Killer Bee's words, AI did not answer directly. By our opponent is not these. Brother, I know. At this time, Killer Bee's musical cells jumped without warning, and the rap talent is online. Weird 4, Black Fong, Uchiha Kyosuke, and that Namake's Minato, kill them, Bagaya Road, Konoya Road. During the rap, Killer Bee also twisted 517 from time to time, his fingers making unnamed gestures. AI, who was beside him, had long been accustomed to this strange habit of his brother, so he was not surprised. And those Konoha Jonin's expressions changed when they heard Killer Bee's words. The target of Abby's team and their attack this time is actually Kyosuke and the leader of Minato, Hateful. The two adults must be informed as soon as possible. Bye. AI said. Big brother, what's wrong? Killer Bee stopped rap and looked at the big brother beside him. AI's face is expressionless. Get rid of them as soon as possible, don't waste time. Killer Bee nodded. Okay, big brother. As soon as he finished speaking, the red-tailed beast coat immediately surrounded Killer Bee. Lariat. 99 at the same time. The blue lightning-style chakra, like a python, quickly wrapped around AI. Recurrent storm. In an instant, AI and Killer Bee disappeared. The two turned into one blue and one red lightning, and swiftly galloped towards the dozen or so Konoha Jonin in front of them at a speed that could not be captured by the naked eye. Blue lightning. Red lightning. Too fast. Soon even their eyes can't keep up. When the dozen or so Konoha Jonin saw this, their expressions all changed. Drastically. Chapter 175. With their strength, facing the ferocious attack of Abby's combination, it is impossible to react at all. Even more impossible to resist. A dozen Konoha Jonin, who can only wait in despair for the ruthless harvest of Shinigami. The red and blue lightning bolts approach the dozen or so Konoha Jonins in an instant. Seeing that, as soon as the Abby combination is shot down, several people will be buried. However, at this critical moment, suddenly, two voices came from behind them. Tempest Kick, Rasengan, a gigantic slash that ripped through the air, with an incomparably fierce offensive. It slashed straight at the blue lightning that was about to fall on the dozen or so Konoha Jonin. At the same time, Namake's Minato launched the Flying Thunder God technique, and the figure approached the red lightning extremely quickly. The bland blue Rasengan in his hand pressed directly toward the red lightning. What? A sudden slashing attack made AI's expression change. He could sense that the sudden slash was filled with incomparably violent lethality. If he is hit, he must be seriously injured. So, AI had to give up the attack on those Konoha Jonin and turned into a defensive state. In the current situation, it is impossible to avoid that slash, and you can only resist. I saw that a large number of blue lightning appeared on AI's body, and the countless blue thunder and lightning flickered around him. Chakra mode. Open instantly. Immediately afterwards, AI blocked his arms with steel rings in a cross-shaped defensive posture. Boom! A huge commotion sounded suddenly. Along with it, there were also the incomparably strong waves that blew away a lot of sand and stones, and even broke a lot of flowers and plants. On the other side, there was also a loud noise from Namake's Minato. Rumble. When the air waves slowly subsided and dissipated, the flying dust was blown away. The scene gradually became calmer. One blue and one red lightning disappeared. AI and Killer Bee appeared. At this time, the expressions of the two brothers were not very good, even a little ugly. Uchiha Kyosuke. AI clenched his fists tightly and stared at the figure in front of him. That person, in the past few days, was the one who thought about killing him all the time and then hurrying up. Son of third rakeage, AI. Kyosuke's voice, with a slight slack, as well, had its own appeal to hatred. Lightning-style chakra? TSK. I didn't expect it to be very resistant to beatings, and it's quite powerful. What Kyosuke said, and the tone of voice when he spoke, in the future fourth rakeage, AI, he heard it, but it was extremely harsh. A fire of ignorance quickly ignited in his chest. Boy, don't be too arrogant. Facing Aina's angry eyes that were about to breathe out, Kyosuke shrugged. Sure enough, this third rakeage son is really violent. Shaking his head, Kyosuke reminded kindly, Uncle, since you're already old, don't be too arrogant. A hot temper is a disease, and it's easy to cause schizophrenia. What? If eyes could kill, Kyosuke would have been killed countless times by AI. This Uchiha kid in front of him, who doesn't know the heights of the sky, actually calls himself Uncle. He is only 26 or 70 now, at the time of his youth, young and strong, and in full bloom. Kyosuke calls him Uncle? How not to make AI angry? Also, that nasty little devil actually said that he was sick. The temper is like a volcano like AI. How can this be endured? Kyosuke's remarks completely ignited the powder keg. Little devil, go to hell. Take your life. At this moment, the thunder and lightning on AI's body suddenly rose sharply. Immediately after, he slammed into Kyosuke like a shooting star. Seeing the burst of blue lightning, Kyosuke's eyes lit up. Coming. This is Cloud Shinobi Village's super powerful move, Lightning Style Chakra Mode. It also has a title, Armor of Lightning Style. Lightning Style Armor, as the name suggests, is by concentrating Lightning Style Chakra on the whole body, so that the whole body is covered with chakra and lightning. It can activate the body and can use the lightning flash. At the same time, it can also greatly improve the defense capacity of the human body. Not only that, the lightning burst in the body can also increase the conduction speed of the nerves. The reaction ability will be greatly enhanced. One more thing to note here is that as the lightning style chakra increases, so does the defense and speed. And now, AI is surrounded by a lot of crackling lightning. From this, it can be seen that his defensive power and speed are terrifying. Lightning style chakra mode. Seeing this, Kyosuke couldn't help licking the corner of his mouth, with envy and greed in his eyes. Really good ability. If you can learn this trick, then your own strength is bound to rise to a higher level. At that time, Kyosuke plus Lightning Style Armor plus 8 Inner Gates plus Gene Lock Level 1 plus Armament Haki. Thinking of this, Kyosuke is so excited. Besides, Kyosuke itself has the Lightning Attribute Chakra, so if you want to practice Lightning Style Chakra mode, it is naturally not a problem. As for talent, that's even less of a problem. But the premise is that he has to know. Therefore, Kyosuke had to admit that he was moved when he first saw Aishi's lightning style armor. He's craving Cloud Shinobi, craving this super powerful trick. However, now is not the time to be jealous. Boy, take your life. The angry shout of Third Raikage Sun resounded in Kyosuke's ears like thunder. Kyosuke's face also became serious. Uchiha Kyosuke, experienced the future Fourth Raikage with the strongest armor of lightning style. The other side. Namake's Minato there. At this time, Killer Bee and Namake's Minato stood on opposite sides and faced each other. Not far from the side of the two, there was a big deep pit that appeared there. This big pit was caused by the Rasengan just now by Namake's Minato. Previously, Namake's Minato quickly approached Killer Bee with Flying Thunder God. Immediately after that, he played with Rasengan. Although, Killer Bee looks like 1, 3, or 5 thick feathers. However, his reaction is very fast, and his skills are also extremely agile. That was when Namake's Minato's Rasengan hit Killer Bee. Killer Bee sensed that this inconspicuous blue Rasengan gave him a great threat. At the critical moment, Killer Bee's blood-red-tailed beast suit turned into 8 tails tentacles, which directly slapped the Rasengan in Namake's Minato's hand to the side. After a loud bang, Rasengan hit the ground, creating a deep crater.
Thanks for watching. You can find the next videos in the playlist linked in the info card, directly on my channel, or right here on the screen. And as always, if you have any feedback, feel free to share it in the comments too.